Okay. Looks like we're live. Refresh the YouTube page. Okay. Excellent connection this time. Had some connection difficulties last week. But welcome to the stream. As you can tell, there's a lot of different sets. Starting with Tactical Evolution, the Shonen Jump Championship promo card, cards from Champion Pack 4, the special edition of Tactical Evolution, which adds a couple promo cards, Tag Force promo cards, Card Almanac promo cards, Premium Pack cards, Jump promos, and that Dragon Structure deck that's got Felgrand in it that I can't remember the name of. Structure deck, ruling L. I don't know. But quite a lot going on. I do want to preface the stream with a comment, though. Lamron Jr. Time of that week again. I like that. Milo, a lot of cards today. We're starting early, it seems. Yep. Common, hi. I remember the structure decks in this year being solid? I don't know about that. Of course, the one I want to sit down and watch is going to be during a TCG tournament I'm in. Guess I'm listening to this at work tomorrow. Oh no. Well, at least you'll get the replay. Kuchito 08. That time of the week again. Whew. We got it out, Lamron. Welcome, everybody. The thing I did want to say before we start, though, is we get a new mechanic. Specifically, we get a new ability. And I've mentioned Gemini monsters a lot previously. This is where they come into the game. And at some point in the video, I'm just going to have an extended diatribe on Gemini monsters. And I don't know when it's going to happen. So, Lyrical Star, hello. I think we're ready to start. Got that keyframe frequency error again. That's okay. First card is Gemini Summoner. Water attribute, level 4, spellcaster, effect. Once per turn, during your opponent's end phase, you can pay 500 life points. Normal summon / set one Gemini monster from your hand, or normal summon one face-up Gemini monster you control. The first time this card would be destroyed by battle each turn, it is not destroyed. 1500 attack, 0 defense. And I think the logic here is that this card is Ultimate Offering for Gemini monsters? Sort of. Ultimate Offering costs 500 life points and can be used during your opponent's turn, specifically during their battle phase. I'm not sure when it got the effect changing errata to do that. Yeah, Ultimate Offering got a buff. Woo! But I'm pretty sure it was in the rock structure deck, maybe? Yeah, Gemini monsters. The idea behind them, and I'm sure this is what was happening in Konami's boardroom, was people aren't playing normal monsters. How do we incentivize them to do it? And people are throwing out suggestions like better support for normal monsters. And then, question mark, question mark, question mark. What if we gave normal monsters effects like effect monsters? So, I think that's what their logic was. And giving them ability-specific Ultimate Offering is interesting. But this card is so weird. Why does it only work during the end phase? It's too fair. Also, for some reason, it reminds me of star drawing. I guess because he's drawing a star. Yeah. Gemini monsters feel like early in the game history, like way earlier, the idea that they're where no Gemini monsters in GOAT feels crazy? Wow. Some of the Gemini monsters might be functional in GOAT. For what he is, Gemini Summoner honestly isn't terrible. Filler outclassed, but he's trying his best. He is! He even has a beneficial second effect. Oh, he's Star Drawing's dad? That must be canon. Anyway, it's got the gyroid effect, so just a little bit of a bonus. I don't understand why it's a water spellcaster. Like, a ton of the Gemini monsters just have types and attributes all over the place. That's not the rarest combination, but it is a lot less common. Next up, Alien Shock Trooper. Earth attribute, level 4, reptile. The aliens have used a mysterious biological substance to create a supreme race of soldiers. They do not have the natural powers of the other aliens, but they can make stunning physical attacks. 1900 attack, 800 defense. And just awesome artwork. It's like a scaly centaur, I guess is how I'd describe it. It looks really good. You play this in Aliens, and this is your rescue rabbit target. Getting 2 of these out, that's one of your major plays in the deck, which is not bad. This guy saw so much experimentation. The best alien card in GX? I don't know about that. Maybe if you're talking about actual aliens. This one doesn't have the reminder text about monsters with A counters battling other aliens, but I guess it's a normal monster, but in order for it to benefit from the A counters, you'd have to have another card on the field that does remind you about what A counters do. I don't know. Aliens are so weird. I don't think at any point this card was meta, but it is a fantastic addition to your alien deck. Next up, Volcanic Rat. Fire attribute, level 1, Pyro. This mutated mouse dwells in the core of active volcanoes. No amount of heat is too much for it to bear. 500 attack, 500 defense, and it's got cute little cheese? Man, this is a fun card. It is weird that we got Volcanic Rat after Force of the Breaker. This could have been in Force of the Breaker, in my opinion. Just give you another option to run when you're using Blaze Accelerator. But now, though, it's a level 1 Fire Pyro, which means that there's different options that it opens up, specifically with Rescue Hedgehog. So, I guess maybe Snake Eye with Rescue Hedgehog could use it, but that might be very niche. I don't think you ever play it in Volcanics, though. Oh, look! Volcanics got an unexpected die target. Ooh. Is that useful? Next up, the second normal Dark World monster, which is weird. We got the offensive one, which was Zur, Knight of the Dark World. And now we get Renge, Gatekeeper of the Dark World. Dark attribute, level 4, Fiend, normal. His renowned athletic physique has made him famous with the populace of Dark World. They call him Iron Wall Renge because no one can break through his incredible defenses. 100 attack, 2100 defense. If you're playing Zur because you want a normal monster for Unexpected Die or Rescue Rabbit, I guess you could substitute Renge in instead, but I don't see a good reason. By the way, the color in this Dark World, it's orange, and you can see it in his hands. I just don't see an application for it. And haha, Dark Worlds get another monster that doesn't benefit from their general mechanic. Ooh. Volcanic Rat could be in Laval's. That's a good one. How would Dark World football look like? Probably like old-timey football where you could do just about anything except murder and get away with it. It'd be hardcore, definitely. Violent. I agree with that. Next up, Hunter Dragon. Dark Attribute, level 3, Dragon, normal. This dragon has taken down countless prey with its sharp fangs. It strikes very quickly because if it does not strike first, it is vulnerable to a counterattack. 1700 attack, 100 defense. The only reason why this card is sort of useful is it's now the best target for the Cyberdark cards to reanimate and equip to. 1700 attack, that's pretty decent. Make him a little bit beefier. I don't think that's a good strategy though. But it does give you a better option for it at least. And 1700 attack, that's Sonic Chick level. That's really respectable for a level 3. Ooh! He looks like a Dragoonity. I can totally see this being a prototype for your Dragoonity. It looks like a weapon. So. Do we say it's acceptable in Cyberdarks? Maybe? Next up, Venom Cobra. Even the Venom gets a normal monster. Earth Attribute, level 4, Reptile. Hard scales cover all parts of this gigantic cobra. It hunts by shooting out massive amounts of venom. But because of its large size, its attack pattern is easily predicted. 100 attack, 2000 defense. I feel like that could have been flipped. Keep in mind we have Gene Warped Warwolf in the game already, so 2000 attack has become the new ceiling. And this guy seems so much more offensively geared than his stats show. Like, oh yeah, spitting venom. But you can just dodge it, I guess. There are better normal monsters specifically for reptiles, and his name is Alien Shock Trooper. So, I think it's immediately outclassed on release. And I don't think it particularly functions well with the Venom archetype either. Does he get a Venom counter? I think he's immune to Venom counters. We'll get to the Venom cards in a bit. He doesn't get the counter at least. Okay, so there's that. That's good. I guess he technically does benefit from his name. Next up, Rainbow Dragon. Light Attribute, level 10, Dragon, effect. It's got some archetype inclusion text. This card is always treated as an ultimate crystal card, and that has ramifications later down. In Japanese, they're ultimate crystal monsters, and that's why Rainbow Dragon, Rainbow Dark Dragon, and I think a couple of the fusion monsters are all ultimate crystal, and some of the support specifically references that. This is not effect-changing errata, for the record. I'm not counting it as a design mistake for that. Actual effect. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by having 7 Crystal Beast cards with different names on your field or in your graveyard. This card cannot activate the following effects the turn it is special summoned. Quick effect. You can send all Crystal Beast monsters you control to the graveyard. This card gains 1000 attack for each monster sent to the graveyard. You can banish all Crystal Beast monsters from your graveyard. Shuffle all cards on the field into the deck. All cards? So you shuffle Rainbow Dragon? back into your deck. 4,000 attack, 0 defense. And the meme is, you activate Book of Moon, you set the Rainbow Dragon, and then you can just attack over it with your Treeborn Frog, which is funny. He has never even saw experimentation, painfully sad. He's seen some experimentation in the modern deck, but as a Garnet, since most of the Broken Crystal Beast cards require you to search him, he also got played as material for Predaplant summoning Naos. Oh, because he's material for Rainbow Naos, who is not an elemental hero for whatever even reason. That's beside the point. Who would win, a giant crystal dragon or one little frog with a book? Obviously the frog. My money's on the frog. I think its effect is really weird too. It starts with 4,000 attack, and then you can send all your Crystal Beast monsters to the graveyard and give it even more attack. And then the other effect just resets the board. It's not like Ocean Dragon Lord Neo Daedalus, where at least it keeps itself on the field. Books can hurt. Oh yeah. Book of Moon, just best -1 in the game for quite a bit of time. Maybe Book of Moon is overtuned. It's sad though. I like Rainbow Dragon. Yeah, I don't understand why he can't use his effect the turn he comes out. Majestic Star Duelist. I think they thought it was too strong. And the quick effect is the attack gain effect. So you might want to get more attack during your opponent's turn for whatever reason. I don't understand Rainbow Dragon at all. It's got some decent ideas. I don't think they're executed particularly well. Next up, we got our Chrysalis monsters. And keep in mind we got, Chrysalis Dolphin way back when. So we finally get the other 5. I don't know why these weren't released all at the same time. First up, Chrysalis Pantail. Dark Attribute, level 2, Beast, effect. You contribute this card while Neospace is on the field to special summon 1 Neospatian Dark Panther from your hand or deck. 800 attack, 300 defense. Where do we put these? They're not particularly good. You could be running them as bricks in your Neospatian deck, but most of the time you just want to run the actual Neospatians. They require Neospace, which is very searchable. That's not the problem. And then they tribute themselves and then bring out another card. I think if these tributed themselves and could bring out any Neospatian, then you get a nice toolbox effect. But the way that it is, they're so specific. They don't feel acceptable in Archetype even, just awful. They have one redeeming quality to them, and I want to say it's Cocoon Party, where you can special summon a whole bunch at the same time. But they're really bricky otherwise. Bricky Chicky. Next up, Chrysalis Chicky. It really looks like a woodpecker to me. Not a hummingbird. Wind Attribute, level 2, Winged Beast, effect. You contribute this card while Neospace is on the field to special summon 1 Neospatian Air Hummingbird from your hand or deck. 600 attack, 400 defense. I'm so glad it's hand or deck. If this was just from your hand, they would be in very bad. Next up, Chrysalis Penny, one of my favorite artworks. Light Attribute, level 2, Plant, effect. You contribute this card while Neospace is on the field to special summon 1 Neospatian Glowmoss from your hand or deck. 100 attack, 700 defense. At least you could get this one out with Glow Up, not with Glow Up Bulb, with Lone Fire Blossom. Be crazy if you could get it with Glow Up Bulb. Next up, Chrysalis Larva, Fire Attribute, level 2, Insect effect. You contribute this card while Neospace is on the field to special summon one Neospatian Flare Scarab from your hand or deck, 300 attack, 300 defense. Stat lineups all over the place. It'd be interesting if all the stats summed to a particular total, but they don't seem to. And finally, Chrysalis Mole, my other favorite artwork. Earth Attribute, level 2, Rock effect. You contribute this card while Neospace is on the field to special summon one Neospatian Grand Mole from your hand or deck, 700 attack, 100 defense. Not a lot to be said about them. Ooh, we want to put them in very bad. This is the only one with justification since Grand Mole was limited. That's very fair. More copies of Grand Mole is pretty good idea. I don't think any of the other ones get that justification though. Maybe we'll put them like this. They're very bad, but Chrysalis Mole can stay in bad. Okay. Hello, Rain McKnight. I like that compromise. Next up, Necrogardna. Dark Attribute, level 3, Warrior effect. During your opponent's turn, you can banish this card from your graveyard, negate the next attack this turn from a monster your opponent controls. This is a quick effect. Man, that's worded weirdly. 600 attack, 1300 defense. Can you chain this to attack declaration? Or do you have to use Necrogardna ahead of them declaring an attack? Why is Necrogardna confusing me? Yes, shocking how long this guy was meta playable. It's very simple. It's free in Lightsworn, especially when you're milling cards anyway. Just having a Necrogardna in your graveyard, yeah, that's pretty good. Outside of Lightsworns, though, I don't think you're wasting your Foolish Burial on this, for instance. If you're running Needlebug Nest, maybe this card's okay in your deck. If you have a lot of discard fodder, I guess you could. I don't know. I think it's Lightsworn only, and that's okay. Next up, we get Venom Managa, the deity of poisonous snakes. And I have no clue why. There's 2 N's in Venom, which means that this isn't a Venom monster. Why is this not part of the archetype? I don't understand. Anyway, Venom Managa, the deity of poisonous snakes, dark attribute, level 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Reptile effect cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned with Rise of the Snake Deity or by its own effect. Gains 500 attack for each reptile monster in your graveyard. Neither player can target this card with card effects. Also, it is unaffected by other cards and their effects. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can banish one other reptile monster from your graveyard, special summon this card. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, place 1 Hyper Venom counter on it. When the 3rd Hyper Venom counter is placed on this card, you win the duel. 0 attack, 0 defense. Boy, is there a lot of text. Venom Managa is impossible to summon, but the card feels like it was way ahead of its time in terms of boss monster design. Insane protection, plus it comes back and has an alternate win con. Yeah. Excellent summary, Milo. I think we'll talk about how you actually get it out later. I think on paper, being unaffected by everything is crazy until you realize you can't bring this guy out, or this gal, you can't bring her out with a wild monster appears. She still gets shuffled back, and that's the problem. You don't remove the downside of a wild monster appears. You can't get her out for free. Weird ruling. I don't understand why this card has a win condition. It's sort of like Skull Servant. It gets half as much attack, but there's way more reptiles than there are monsters that treat themselves as Skull Servant in the graveyard at this time. It even has the revival effect that King of the Skull Servants have. I don't understand why this card has a win condition attached to it. I guess, in my mind, if you're beating down your opponent 3 times, how many life points are they even going to have? Also, poison is a mechanic in Magic the Gathering. Infect is another mechanic in Magic the Gathering too. It's crazy. I think you need 10 poison counters to get the instant win in Magic, and you only need 3 poison counters from Venom Naga, but there's not a good way to cheat more poison counters on her. So, it's a nice win con, but you need her to have high attack, but not too high. Yeah, it's so hard to actually pull it off. Do I want to put her in bad? I think everyone's tried it out. Well, it is a deity, so maybe that's why. It does allow for funny OTKs, but those exist mostly in theory and YouTube combo videos. Yeah. Man, everything looks good in a combo video. Cloudians in a combo video? Ooh. I think bad's okay. Now, it's contemporary? It's husband? I don't know. They seem to be related somehow. Venenomenon reads the Necronomicon. Venenomenon, the king of poisonous snakes. Dark attribute, level 8, reptile effect. Cannot be special summoned by another effect monster's effect. So you can't bring him out with an attribute floater, which would be Mystic Tomato. Unaffected by Venom Swamp. Thank you? Why isn't... I guess Venom Naga is already unaffected by all of the other card effects, so don't worry about it. Gains 500 attack for each reptile monster in your graveyard. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can banish one other reptile monster from your graveyard, special summon this card. 0 attack, 0 defense. It's a watered down version of Venom Naga. Same attack gain, same revival effect. Hard to get out, though. You're not sacrificing 2 monsters to tribute summon this. You're probably going to try to get this out with damage equals reptile, which is also in the set, to be fair. I like how they thought, don't just cheat him out with Mystic Tomato. But there are a lot of other ways that you could special summon this card. You could even trade in and then bring it out with Call of the Haunted if you wanted to. The effect only triggers when it's destroyed by battle, though, so that's a little bad. I think it's significantly more playable than Venom Naga, which is silly. But I don't know if it deserves to be that high. Evil Dragon Inata, I think, is the big reptile boss monster, and neither one of these are quite at that level. Maybe in a future support, they'll fix Venom and she'll be usable. I hope not. King of Poisonous Snakes does feel like he could get experimentation if the right reptile archetype comes around as an extender. Interesting. How would you get it out in the first place, though? Snake Rain. You can just get him into the graveyard with Snake Rain. So there might actually be something that you could run on. We'll think about it. You get the honor of going into Gimmick, then. Now for the actual Venom monsters. First up, Venom Snake. Earth attribute, level 3. Reptile effect. Once per turn, you can place one Venom counter on one monster your opponent controls. If you activate this effect, this card cannot attack during this turn. 1200 attack, 600 defense. I sort of feel like this is how aliens should have been distributing their A counters. It's an interesting choice. Either you get the ability to attack, or you get one of these Venom counters. I'm not saying it's a good choice, but I like how you can enter the exhausted state in a way other than attacking. It's sort of like tapping in Magic the Gathering, how you could tap for one effect, or you could attack. Attacking puts it into the tap state. It's a very interesting idea. Outside of Endymion, has there ever been a good counter-dependent deck? I don't think so. There's been good counter cards, like Breaker, Card Guard. What is the name of the Underworld Link monster that gets a patrol counter? Next up, Venom Boa. Earth attribute, level 5, which is weird. Reptile effect. Once per turn, you can place 2 Venom counters on one monster your opponent controls. If you activate this effect, this card cannot attack during this turn. 1600 attack, 1200 defense. I really wish if this card had 100 less attack, at least you could bring it out with Giant Rat and be a little bit better. But man, are you really going to use a tribute to bring out Venom Boa? I do like how the artwork has 2 different mouths. I guess the tail is another head. So it takes 1 bite with the mouth and then 1 bite with the tail mouth. So you get 2 Venom counters. I think that's cute. This could have been a level 4 though. They exhaust similar to how all the burn or pop effects from Volcanics last set. Yeah, I love the experimentation. I don't think it quite works, but it's interesting. It's also not a downside sometimes, like the Volcanics not being able to attack. You run Soul Exchange, you tribute your opponent's monster as a benefit, and then you don't use your battle phase anyway. Next up, Venom Serpent. Dark attribute, level 4. Reptile effect. Once per turn, you can place 1 Venom counter on one monster your opponent controls. 1000 attack, 800 defense. I guess this one also has 2 mouths, and it bites with one of them, and then can attack with the other in the same turn, I guess is the justification. Best one so far, at least. But 1000 attack isn't going to do very much. I know in Archetype it's a little bit more impressive. All the Venoms need to place at least 1 extra counter to be even remotely playable? Yeah. Next up, Elemental Hero Neos Alias. Light attribute, level 4. Warrior, Gemini, effect. This card is treated as a normal monster while face up on the field or in the graveyard. While this card is a normal monster on the field, you can normal summon it to have it become an effect monster with this effect. This card's name becomes Elemental Hero Neos while on the field. 1900 attack, 1300 defense. You know what else can become Elemental Hero Neos while on the field? Prisma, Elemental Hero Prisma. You know what else can make any monster Elemental Hero Neos on the field? Hero Mask. I think this card has 1900 attack, is very searchable, is a light attribute monster, is a Gemini which gives the deck access to Gemini Spark. But I don't think you ever waste your normal summon to treat it as Neos Alias. You use this in Hero Beat, and I think it's just a normal monster almost all the time. I don't think anyone has ever honestly been playing this as more copies of Neos with the intent of using it. There's just better archetype options. Now, to talk about the Gemini mechanic real quick, I don't understand why they are so specific in when it's treated as a normal monster. If it was always treated as a normal monster until it gains its Gemini effect, it would be so much better, because then you could take some of them and add them to hand, for instance, with cards like Summoner's Art. Bring it out with Unexpected Die directly from the deck. Special summon it from hand with Ancient Rules, or the higher levels at least. There's just so many things. There's a weird interaction with dragon-type Gemini monsters and dragon shrines specifically, because by the time the dragon hits the graveyard, it's a normal monster. You can then send another dragon with Dragon Shine. Why doesn't this work all the time? The level 4 or lower you could bring out with Unexpected Die. The other problem with Gemini monsters is I feel like Konami was afraid that they would be overtuned, and they really held back on those effects. Some of them are good. Some of them are totally playable, but a lot of the Gemini monsters, I think, could just be monsters that have these effects inherently, and you're not exhausting a resource. There's definitely turns where you have an extra normal summon, no monsters in hand that you could use it, and hey, I guess you can get that resource and use it, but most of the time it's going to be a pretty slow turn when you have to do that. If only he was treated as Neos in hand or field without the Gemini effect, yeah. Good evening, Jay Andrews. I used to play him a lot. Oh. I'm not arguing that Neos Alias wasn't meta. Totally was. From Milo, Geminis are such wasted potential. Maybe someday they'll be good. They tried. They tried with a whole structure deck that was based around them. I think 2 structure decks, actually. They might just be a lost cause, though. And then, of course, Konami thinks again, how do we get people to play normal monsters? Why don't we give them effects? And that's how we get the normal pendulums. Which have their own problems. Next up, Chthonian Emperor Dragon. It's weird that there's like several different Chthonian cards, but they're not really an archetype. Level 6, Dragon Gemini. This card is treated as a normal monster while face up on the field or in the graveyard. While this card is face up on the field, you can normal summon it to have it treated as an effect monster with this effect. I'm not going to be reading the Gemini text, the ability text from now on. Just keep in mind, that's going to be there. Otherwise, the video will get really repetitive. The effect is, this card can attack twice during the same battle phase. 2400 attack, 1500 defense. Swinging twice with the dragon, that's not bad. Having to tribute summon this guy out, or special summon it through difficult means, that is bad. It's just not worth your normal summon. I think the game is just too fast for Gemini effects. I agree. Not sure if mentioned already, but wasn't Hero Beat also meta during the XYZ era? Oh yeah. Chthonian Emperor Dragon is one of my all-time favorite cards. He's never been good, but the art is nice, and he just seems neat. Yeah. Next up, Aquarian Alessa. Water attribute, level 4, Aqua. Its Gemini effect is, when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, they discard one random card. 1500 attack, 500 defense. I don't like this effect. I think Legacy Hunter has a similar effect. It sort of reminds you of Don Zalug, but it's harder to get to get it off. Is this a reference to Silent Hill with Alessa? I have no clue. I don't understand why water gets some discard effects either. Like the spiritual water art, for some reason, takes a card out of your opponent's hand. And then like Trishula can take a card out of your opponent's hand. And Mulan Glacia can take a card out of your opponent's hand. I don't understand like why they gave water this ability. But the card's bad, which is good. If this card were better, if it was 1500 attack with this effect, it'd be pretty similar to Danzalug. And Danzalug's a menace, and I hate it in GOAT. Love the art. Wish we knew the Konami... Sorry. Wish we knew the Yu-Gi-Oh! Artists. They're all drawn by John Konami. But I agree. I would like to see them credited. It would be nice. Magic cards have their artist name on them. Next up, Lucky Pied Piper. Wind attribute, level 4, fairy. Its Gemini effect is when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, draw 1 card. 1500 attack, 500 defense. I like this card so much better than Alessa. Drawing cards feels fair. I think this could have possibly been a monster with this effect, but it's a fairly strong effect at that. Purely headcanon, but otherwise don't know why they get to the discard effects. Water gets the discard effects because of the anime with Yugi losing his Exodia to Weevil throwing them into the ocean. Okay, that's canon. I declare that canon. Next up, Grass Chopper. Earth attribute, level 5, insect. Gemini effect is this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. 2350 attack, 1000 defense. A little bit lower attack, but I guess you can make more attacks on monsters. Why not just run Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, which you can cheat out? You can waste your normal summon in that deck too, with a big evolution pill. I just think it's not as good as Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Name's on point, though. Thanks, Weevil. Next up, Goggle Golem. Earth attribute, level 4, rock, Gemini. Gemini effect is the original attack of this card becomes 2100. 1500 attack, 500 defense. I am noticing a pattern. I guess, yeah, it looks like the Gemini monsters have a full attribute cycle. That's cool. Where they all have the same attack and defense, but different attributes. I think we've seen monsters on this power level before. Like Spirit of Flames hits for 2000 during your battle phase. Rock Spirit gets 2000 during your opponent's. Steamroid goes up to 2300. Breaker goes to 1900 with that counter on it. 2100 is such a marginal increase over a normal monster, which you can just normal summon. That being Gene Warped Warwolf, which is in the game at this point. I think you go into very bad. It is original attack, so I guess it works a little bit better with Megamorph. Guessing the idea was to float into them and then normal summon them next turn. I guess with the attribute floaters, yeah. It's not a bad idea. It's just so weak. And it just dies to anything, too. I don't know what level they could have pushed it up to. Like, obviously, 3000 seems a little bit ludicrous. But maybe 2500 would have been a little bit better. At least make this guy be able to get over Cyber Dragon. I think that would help. Next up, Dawnbreak Gardna, light attribute, level 3, warrior, Gemini. Wait a second, why is this level 3? Weren't the other ones all level 4? They were all level 4. Weird that the light one is level 3. Gemini effect. The original defense of this card becomes 2300. 1500 attack, 500 defense. I guess if you float into him, then you can switch him to defense mode. But we have significantly better defensive walls already in the game. We got Big Shield Gardna with 2600 defense. We got Destiny Hero Defender with 2700 defense. Both of those have downsides, but still, they're significantly better. Even on normal monsters, we got 2100 defense. Even in this set with Renge. This is just so bad. It is bafflingly bad. The only reason I even remember this card exists is because it was the first monster summoned in the original low-rated Duelists video. Dawnbreak could have been 2600 defense and still not been playable. I agree. Man, let it be better than Defender. Give it 3000 defense. Like Labyrinth Wall or Millennium Shield or Neo Aquamador. There's precedent for that. What a horribly baffling design. I agree. Just uniquely terrible. Let's get that taste out of our mouth with Doom Shaman. By the way, I love some of the artwork for the Gemini monsters whenever they have either their other form or a monster that they're summoning in their background. It's just great design. Doom Shaman. Dark Attribute, level 6. Spellcaster. Gemini effect. Its Gemini effect is, once per turn, you can special summon one fiend type monster from your hand or from either graveyard. When this card leaves the field, destroy all fiend type monsters special summoned by this effect. 2400 attack, 2000 defense. Effect is pretty good, except this guy's a spellcaster, which does prevent problems when we get a Gigaplant later. Gigaplant being a plant and being able to revive other plants, that's a problem. Don't worry about that off of Doom Shaman at least. It can't self-extend and self-extend. I do think that it's a little bit hard, though, coordinating this spellcaster in your fiend deck. What would you run this in? Contemporarily, maybe Archfiends? I don't know. It's a good tempo card. I think the design balance is really good. 2400 attack, level 6, completely respectable stat lineup. And a beneficial effect once per turn. Doom Shaman is probably too slow, but man, he seems like he should be absolutely crazy in the right deck. Like, he even get himself popped to help extend in Unchained. Yeah. I think we're just going to put him here. Next up, King Pyron. Level 5. Fire attribute, Pyro, Gemini. Gemini effect. Once per turn, you can inflict 1000 damage to your opponent, 1500 attack, 500 defense. Man, level 5. So Dawnbreak Gardna was level 3, and he gave the extra star to King Pyron for balance. In your fire deck, I think you're better off running Solar Flare Dragon, recurring burn damage. It's only 500 each turn, but you can also lock your opponent out of attacking with 2 copies of Solar Flare Dragon. But you know what does this arguably better? Stealth Bird. 1000 damage every turn, resets itself. It's got a little bit of a defensive ability. And it isn't a level 5 monster. Lamron loves this art. Yeah. It's not bad art. I think we just put it in bad. or in very bad. You're outclassed by a level 4 monster from several years ago. Next up, Shadow Delver. Again, fantastic artwork. I love his shadow turning into a monster. Dark attribute, level 4, Fiend, Gemini. Gemini effect, once per turn, you can select one face-up level 4 or lower dark monster you control. It can attack your opponent directly this turn. 1500 attack, 500 defense. It can target itself, so it could just attack in for 1500 damage. I think this card is Dark Scorpion support, because the Dark Scorpions need to get in for damage. I believe they're all level 4 dark monsters. Gorg the Strong is not. But I think the majority of Dark Scorpions are Dark Attribute level 4. Oh, Chick might be level 3 too. Never mind, this guy isn't even good Dark Scorpion support. I think the effect is underwhelming. You can get in for, 700 damage with Servant of Catabolism, which is arguably worse. But if you compare it to Raging Flame Sprite, which gets stronger every turn, I think it's just underwhelming. I think it's bad, but I don't think it's very bad. Fantastic artwork, though. Next up, Flintlock, which is a pun. Flintlock is a type of firing mechanism, I guess is what you'd call it, where it strikes flint, makes a spark, and then the spark hits your propellant in old firearms. Also, this is a ship that locks onto its target, and its target is flint. So, good pun. Light attribute, level 4, machine effect. Once per turn, you can equip a flint on the field to this card. You can take any flint equipped to this card and equip it to another face-up monster. This card can only be equipped with one flint at a time. While equipped with flint, this card is unaffected by flint's effect and cannot be destroyed by battle. 1500 attack, 800 defense. Flint was okay. It was interesting that it could stop your opponent from attacking and could sort of recycle itself. Epicure Drakmord, better version of Flint in my opinion. But this is a card that only works with one other card in the game, which is not particularly good, and its interaction is not particularly good either. Just moving that Flint around. Yeah, Flintlock is also in reference to one of the Konami shooter games. I don't know if it's from Gradius or Life Force. Because I think the Vic Viper is from Life Force, not Gradius. Konami, your arcade games are a little underwhelming. The BES monsters are okay though. We can say they're okay. Next up, Gravitic Orb. Dark attribute, level 3, Fiend effect, flip. Change the battle positions of all face-up monsters your opponent controls. 1100 attack, 700 defense. Ooh, the Flintlock loop is very funny. Interesting. Is it funny? Design mistake territory, maybe? I don't know. I feel like Gravitic Orb is like one of those really old flip effect monsters. It could have been released right around the same time as we got Skellige and Witch Doctor of Chaos. The effect's not that bad. It's sort of like a Windstorm of Etiqua. And that card was playable, but I don't think it was great at any point. But right now the game is just way too fast for it to be useful. Yeah, honestly, G-Orb feels like a GOAT era card. It's a fine effect, just so slow. Yeah, Green Kappa. That's another good one from GOAT. Okay. from Jace. The Flintlock Loop is an infinite life point combo, but it's inconsistent and not good. Our counterpart to Gravitic Orb is Phantom Cricket. Earth attribute, level 2, insect, effect, flip. Return one face-down monster from the field to the top of its owner's deck. 300 attack, 1000 defense. It sort of feels like a Desert Tapir. Not the same effect, but it reminds me of it. This is really, really slow. Hey, is this Ryza the Storm Monarch? If you squint from 30 miles away? Not really. This card is sorta just worse than Maneater Bug or Old Vindictive Magician. I'd much rather just pop the card. The slight upside, though, is, you know, denying their next draw. But you know what else does that? Mystic Swordsman. And, like, Legendary Jujutsu Master. Better Maneater Bug sometimes? Very, very infrequently, I guess. We have Ryza at home. Yeah. I didn't even know that Phantom Cricket was a card. Oh, yeah. Next up, Crystal Seer. Water attribute, level 1. Spellcaster, flip, effect, flip. Excavate the top 2 cards from your deck. Then add one of them to your hand, then place the other on the bottom of your deck. 100 attack, 100 defense. I'm not going to say that updating rules text to use the excavate keyword is a design mistake. That's fine. This card has had errata, but not significant. This is really interesting, though. It's card advantage, both physical and virtual. Virtual card advantage is when you're getting information or decision between cards, but not necessarily getting cards in your hand. Like, the Warrior Returning Alive trades 1 card in hand for 1 card in grave. Virtual advantage, not necessarily physical advantage. This goes potentially +1, but you get to look too deep. I think Dr. Frankenderp does something similar. And of course, this card fits so well with the Apprentice Magician engine, which is already running around. It's in a lot of Monarch decks specifically, but yeah, people were playing this card at the time. Just free advantage. Crystal Seer is just better Skellingle. Yeah, Seer saw play. Unfortunately, the next few sets were too fast for it to get used more. I think any time in the sun is good. If a card's good at any point in the history of the game, I think that's a success, even if its window is brief. But man, people were going crazy for this card in the Beckett Unofficial Collector. There's a whole article on it. Next up, Neospace Pathfinder. Light attribute, level 4, warrior, effect. You can discard this card to the graveyard to add 1 Neospace from your deck or graveyard to your hand. 1800 attack, 800 defense. I guess this guy doesn't go into the previous set because it doesn't get attack gain from Neospace. I don't know. It's another searcher, and it's a pretty decent one. But what it searches is not particularly good is the problem. Great in archetype? Well, I can agree with that. I think the whole Neospace thing is a bit of a lost cause, though. Your monster was perfectly balanced without shuffling itself back into the deck. I think it's just downside, and then you're circumventing the downside, and at least you get more consistency in your deck. And it makes the deck faster, and you can bring this guy out with Reinforcement of the Army, and you can bring it back with the Warrior Returning Alive. It's got good typing. If this card were an elemental hero, though, it'd be even better. Don't worry, Pathfinder, just wait until the future when you get a younger version of you. Yeah. Crossporter, too. Crossporter's really good. Or was really good at least one point in the time. This card, and don't lie to me, I think everyone's tried to work with at least once. Frost and Flame Dragon and its contemporary Desert Twister, or I guess the Aristotle attribute answers to Chaos Monsters, but they're not copying Blackluster Soldier Envoy at the beginning and Chaos Emperor Dragon Envoy at the end. They're copying Sky Scourge Norliris and Sky Scourge Inrise, which is a little bit disappointing. What did they do? Water attribute, level 6, dragon, cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned from your hand by banishing 1 fire and 2 water monsters from your graveyard. Once per turn, you can discard 1 card, then target 1 monster on the field, destroy that target. 2300 attack, 2000 defense. It's not bad. It's definitely good for the time. Targeting destruction, decent body, not bad. Problem is getting it out. You gotta be running 1 fire and 2 waters, which is oddly specific. And the way I tried this out was Fire Fist Mermail hybrid deck to try to get it working. It's very funny. Honest to God, it seems so good and just isn't. The attribute Chaos Monsters are so cool. It is honestly wild they weren't released with the structure decks. Frost and Flame and Desert Twister are so cool. I wish they made more of these alternate attribute Chaos Monsters. They also got Dark Samorg later, which is Dark and Wind. But yeah, I agree. A better version of these would be fantastic. We're just not there yet. I think we're going to put it here. Unfortunately. Its friend is Desert Twister. Wind attribute, level 6. Fiend, weird. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by banishing 2 wind and 1 earth monster from your graveyard. Once per turn, you can discard 1 card, then target 1 spell or trap on the field. Destroy it. 2300 attack, 2000 defense. Significantly worse since this one only pops spell and traps. They could have at least taken a note from Mobius the Frost Monarch, let it pop 2 spell or traps, target 1 or 2 spell or traps, and then pop them. And it's got the discard cost. Converting cards from hand into popping, 1-for-1 monster removal, that's pretty decent, but not on spell and traps. It could have been a once per turn, I think, but for symmetry, it's not. IIRC in 2018 or 2019, they did make a similar type of fake chaos card, but for fire and wind. It obviously has no home, unfortunately. That's the other thing about Desert Twister. I can't think of a wind and earth archetype together. And it's 2 winds and 1 earth. What are you even splashing in? Like, harpies are wind. Speedroids are wind. I guess you could be playing some of the original roids that are earth. Wind Witch is wind. Does he join the, well, MST is limited club? I guess. What's even worse is I think Breaker is at either 1 or 0 at this point. So not just MST is at 1, but Breaker gets banned at one point in the game. Next up, Ritual Raven. I wish this were in GOAT. It would make GOAT more fun in my opinion. Dark attribute, level 1. Fiend effect. If you ritual summon a dark ritual monster, this 1 card can be used as the entire tribute. 300 attack, 300 defense. I know this card gets a retrain later and is featured in the artwork of a lot of cards. Very interesting effect. I like the idea behind Ritual Raven because it's super flexible. I don't know. I guess it doesn't work with Contract of the Abyss, though, because it doesn't treat itself as the appropriate level. So I don't think it actually works with Contract of the Abyss, which is bad. It is the perfect card for Relinquished, though, since it's level 1. The best part of Ritual Raven is his tragic and funny story in the rights cards. Yeah. It hurts so much. There gets to be better versions of Ritual Ravens out later. Some of the other Ritual support. The Gishkis get their own archetype version of Ritual Raven. This only works for dark monsters. The gens help rituals more than this card. It's just filler. The fact that he can't be used with tons of cards he appears in is so funny. Yeah. I honestly think the Dark Attribute level 6 zombie that can be used as ritual tribute and returns itself to hand is better than Raven. Raven could have come out in Goat. I think Ritual Raven does work with Contract with the Abyss because Shurit works with Necros. Okay. I think there might need to be a ruling on that. I'm not sure if it exists, but I'll see it if I can find it right now. Why on earth is... Okay. So there's an OCG ruling, and it says, when ritual summoning by advanced ritual art, you can only send normal monsters to the graveyard. You cannot send monsters like Ritual Raven or Djinn, releaser of rituals, to your graveyard. Who is trying to do that? Furthermore, you do not remove from play from your graveyard a monster like Djinn, releaser of rituals, when ritual summoning by advanced ritual art. It clearly says normal monsters. Oh, here's the relevant ruling, though. This card can be used as the entire tribute for ritual spells that require the ritual monster's exact level in tributes, like End of the World and Contract with the Abyss. It does. So it does work. So it's slightly better. Wait, this was the set that ends the effigy cycle? Huh. Yeah, I don't think the effigies ever get finished. I think it's just Wind, Light, and Dark that gets one. And of course, Wind is the absolute worst. A lot of talk about Ritual Raven, though. Next up, Razor Lizard. And this artwork makes me uncomfortable, and I don't quite know why. There's just something about that face, that smile, and those doe eyes. I guess he's wall-eyed. Earth Attribute, level 3, Reptile, effect. While you control another reptile-type monster, if this card attacks a face-down defense position monster, destroy that monster immediately with this card's effect without flipping it face up or applying damage calculation. 1500 attack, 300 defense. I like the idea behind this card. We saw Twin-Headed Wolf, I believe is the one, that gains an additional effect if you control another fiend monster. And now reptiles get an option. Who says reptiles get no support? I think you're better off just running a card like Drillroid that does this all the time, or Sasuke Samurai number 2. Is it the ears? I don't know if it even has ears. It's got like a frill. It's the same smile that the horse makes in Berserk. Oh man, bad horse. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm kidding, to be clear, it's just very unsettling because it's charging at you. I think what it actually is it looks like Fred from Courage the Cowardly Dog when he's being naughty. So I think it's because the lizard has hair. Yeah, what is up with that? Reptiles have ponytails. Next up, Light Effigy. Light Attribute, level 4, Fairy, effect. If you tribute summon a light normal monster, you can treat this monster as 2 tributes, but you don't have to. 1500 attack, 0 defense. Kaiser Seahorse does this all the time. I guess you could get this card out with Shining Angel, for instance, or Nova Summoner. It's another target for Nova Summoner specifically. And Gelenduo. I believe Gelenduo does the same thing. Card's just really bad. You're not tribute summoning a light normal monster with this card. Maybe a light monster in general would make this card better, but... And then it'd just be a different version of Kaiser Seahorse. Just real bad. We'll put in very bad. I just realized he's got a straight razor for a tail. Oh, yeah. And he's got razor blades on him. Ugh. Konami, why aren't you censoring this guy? Wait, Wind Effigy isn't even in this set. The one legal TCG target wasn't even out until the set after. Yep. The other thing about Gemini monsters not treating themselves as normal monsters in hand is these effigy cards don't even work with them. I don't think it would make the Gemini mechanic better if the effigy cards worked with them, but at least it'd make more sense in the set. I don't think that there's a 2 tribute in this set though, so maybe it's a moot point. The other effigy is Dark Effigy. I love the artwork. I guess it's like a precursor to Crazy Box. Dark Attribute, level 4, Fiend, effect. If you tribute summon a dark normal monster, you can treat this monster as 2 tributes. 1500 attack, 0 defense. Hey, you can get your Dark Magician out a little bit easier. But you know what gets your Dark Magician out a lot easier? Skilled Dark Magician. And Sage's Stone. And even Miracle Restoring. Dark Effigy reminds me of the game Control. Cool. I still can't believe these exist, honestly. Cosmo Queen support, let's go! Yeah, Cosmo Queen has suppressed the Dark Magician in terms of attack and defense. I think it's slightly better than the light one, at least. Next up, Zombie Master. Dark Attribute, level 4, Zombie, effect. Once per turn, you can send 1 monster from your hand to graveyard, then target 1 level 4 or lower zombie-type monster in your graveyard. Oh, I'm sorry. In either graveyard. Special summon that target. This monster must be face up on the field to activate and to resolve this effect. I guess you could get Book of Mooned after you've paid the cost and selected your target, and then it'd be face down, so you wouldn't get the effect, you just have the cost paid. 1800 attack, 0 defense. This card's a little nutty, because it's a soft once per turn, and it's a level 4 monster in itself, so you can extend. And even the benefit of sending a monster from hand to grave, if it's a Mizuki, you can self-extend even further. You Synchro or XCs with the Zombie Master, or even Link Summon, to be honest. Put it in the graveyard, get it back with the Mizuki, extend again. I think this is the first card we get to put in Worth Considering Today. Just really strong. I'm glad there's at least one. I don't know what zombies are doing in 2025, but he's still maybe the best at what he does, yeah? That's true. I think he is a little bit homeless. Maybe Worth today, but at least very super good in Edison. Oh man, amazing in Edison. Next up, Neospatian Marine Dolphin. Water attribute, level 4. Warrior, fusion, effect. This card's name is This card's name is also treated as Neospatian Aqua Dolphin. That's not going to be confusing. This card cannot be special summoned except with Nex. Once per turn, you can discard one card to look at your opponent's hand and select one monster card in it. If you control a monster with attack greater than or equal to the selected monsters, destroy the selected monster and inflict 500 damage to your opponent. 900 attack, 1100 defense. This is so many hoops to bring out. You gotta have your Aqua Dolphin and you gotta have Nex. And your benefit is you're a slightly stronger monster, which I guess means that you can hit slightly bigger cards in hand. I guess you could eliminate hand traps. This is really interesting too. It's one of the very few fusion type monsters that has no materials listed. Can't run more than a total of 3 copies between this dude and the main deck. What were they even thinking with that? Oh yeah. I guess because he's simultaneously treated as Marine Dolphin and Aqua Dolphin, you run one of these in the extra deck and 2 Aqua Dolphin in the main deck? Oh, this card. It's just hoops, man. And of course, because they had to, he can also fuse with Elemental Hero Neos. Make Elemental Hero Marine Neos. Water attribute, level 8. Warrior fusion effect. Materials are Elemental Hero Neos, Neospatian Marine Dolphin. Must first be special summoned from your extra deck by shuffling the above cards you control into the deck. You do not use polymerization. Normal contact fusion. Once per turn, you can destroy one random card in your opponent's hand. 2800 attack, 2300 defense. Why does this guy not shuffle himself back into the deck? Why is he not like all the other Neos fusions? I guess this guy sticks around. I guess if you're ignoring his summoning condition and bringing out Marine Neos, you can just rip a card out of your opponent's hand. It's a soft once per turn. I don't know how you could abuse that. It must first be special summoned, so it is Semi-Nomi. So if you send it to the graveyard and then bring it back, you could rip another card out of your opponent's hand. And look at this! Water gets another discard effect. Like Aqua Dolphin was one, Alessa was one. What is up with water and discarding? I think it's easy to see why the triple contact fusions took off rather than these evolved forms. Probably because you use 4 cards to summon them instead of 2. Since you have to use the OG Aqua Dolphin or spell and the next spell. Have the OG Aqua Dolphin on field and use the next spell. Weevil strikes again. Oh man. I think this is one that you can bring out from the main, not from the main deck. I think this is one that you can cheat out though. Let's check. Okay. This card can be special summoned with instant contact, which ignores its summoning conditions. Oh man. This card can actually be played because of instant contact. think it gets into this tier. It is a card you could bring out of the extra deck. I think Instant Contact only summons level 7s, right? So Instant Contact reads, pay 1,000 life points, special summon one level 7 or lower elemental hero or Neospatian monster from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. Oh, I misread it. You can bring out the Marine Dolphin with Instant Contact. Okay. That makes the card significantly worse. Okay. Don't worry, the card's completely balanced and goes into very bad territory now. So glad we dodged a bullet. Next up, Elemental Hero Darkbright. Dark Attribute, level 6, Warrior, Fusion, Effects. Materials are Elemental Hero Sparkman and Elemental Hero Necroshade. Must be fusion summoned. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. If this card attacks, change it to defense position at the end of the damage step. If this card is destroyed, target one monster your opponent controls, destroy that target. 2,000 attack, 1,000 defense. Why does this have a Goblin attack force effect? I don't understand that part. 2,000 attack isn't that much. I get that this card pays for itself when it leaves the field, at least. Well, not when it leaves the field, when it's specifically destroyed, but beggars can't be choosers. I just don't understand why it shifts itself to defense mode. I think we'll put it here. It's not bad. Obviously, it's to get your opponent to destroy it for its second effect, says Lamron. Okay. Why is he weaker than Flame Wingman in terms of stats when both materials are stronger? Yeah, that's a good question. He's weaker than his original materials, even. Or at least Blade Edge. I think Blade Edge has 2,600, I want to say. Blade Edge isn't in this fusion. Oh, man. It looks like it's a Blade Edge fusion. But it's Sparkman and Necroshade. Why did I think that this was Plasma Vice? It looks like it should have Blade Edge as material, but don't worry about that. And it even has the piercing battle damage that Blade Edge has. Why doesn't this guy have Blade Edge as material? You fooled me. Questions science still can't answer. Next up, Elemental Hero Magma Neos. Fire Attribute, level 8. Warrior, Fusion, Effect. Materials are Elemental Hero Neos, Neospatian Flame Scarab, and for the first time, Neospatian Grand Mole, so triple fusion. Ooh. Must first be special summoned from your extra deck by shuffling the above cards you control into the deck. You do not use polymerization. This card gains 400 attack for each card on the field. I guess it counts itself, yeah? Once per turn, during the end phase, shuffle this card into the extra deck. If this card is shuffled into the extra deck this way, return all cards on the field to the hand. 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense. Interesting. This is mass bounce. Is it worth trying to bring out, though? The effect's not bad. Attack point gain, whatever. At least it references Flare Scarab, which is nice. But mass bounce. Non-targeting, non-destruction removal. That really works well against extra deck monsters. I don't know, that's pretty decent. Something interesting about Darkbright is that the anime, it has its own equip. Why were they doing this still in Season 3? They didn't print it, at least. But it could only... They didn't print it, but at least it could be equipped to any Dark Warrior. This guy was carrying the entire archetype on his back, honestly. And with only one hand. His two materials are good too? I don't know about that. His two materials are okay. We'll put him here. It sucks that one of them is at 1 for the longest time, though. It's difficult to bring out Magma Neos. Next up, Ojama Knight. Another one of Jaden's fusion monsters. Light attribute, level 5, beast fusion effect. Materials are 2 Ojama monsters. Hey, you could use Ojama King if you wanted to. And you could use Ojama Knight if you wanted to. I wonder if there's a loop that you could do. Choose up to 2 of your opponent's unused monster zones. Those zones cannot be used. Forever? Does this card just lock your opponent out, or only when it's face up on the field? 0 attack, 2500 defense. I like that you can get any Ojama, because Ojamas are getting a lot of cards in the future. It reads a lot better than I thought it did. The effect is okay. Man, if there is a way to loop Ojama Knight because it confused with itself to bring out another copy of Ojama Knight, probably with Chain Material and Fusion Gate, there's probably a crazy loop. Pretty sure it was mainly played as an instant fusion target. I agree with that. It's not a bad instant fusion target. I think the effect is so-so. Mainly as a light for Pleiades. Okay. It is a continuous effect, sadly, so if it leaves, it negates the block. Good. You could argue design mistake just because zone locking is really strong. I don't think it's as bad as like Kaiser Coliseum. Knight plus King isn't a good combo, but the lock is funny, and honestly, funny should be what Ojama's aim for. They're not good, but they make you laugh. Next up, Fifth Hope. Normal spell. Target 5 elemental hero cards in your graveyard. I wonder if there are any spell or traps that this card can hit. Shuffle them into your deck, then draw 2 cards, or draw 3 cards instead if you have no other cards on your field and in your hand when you activated this card. It makes me think that maybe Pot of Avarice goes to 1. I think Pot of Avarice actually gets banned for a while. This card is sort of like Pot of Avarice, specifically for hero monsters. But man, this is a crazy top deck. Like, Bubble Man's already a great top deck, but Fifth Hope drawing 3 cards? That's really strong. It's just getting to that point where you have 5 heroes in your graveyard is a little hard. If it just worked with hero cards in general, this card would be amazing and broken. I don't even know if I want to put it in here. Slightly worse, Pot of Avarice and Archetype. I think it's acceptable. Next up, Reverse of Neos. Quick play spell. Activate only when a face-up Neos fusion monster you control is destroyed. Special summon 1 elemental hero Neos from your deck in attack position. It gains 1000 attack and is destroyed during the end phase of this turn. This card reminds me specifically of a deal with Dark Ruler, but actually I think Berserk Dragon has 3500 attack too. But if you're running this... I guess it is just a deal with Dark Ruler, which is weird. This card would be played today if it worked with any hero cards. It'd be amazing. I don't know. I think this card's just too difficult to get that condition. The effect's not bad, though. Special summoning a monster directly from deck, even if it's a Velenalla, isn't the worst. How are you using this on your turn, though? How are you getting your fusion monsters destroyed? Hey, and this actually works with Rainbow Neos, at least. Next up, Convert Contact. Normal spell. If you control no monsters, send 2 Neospatian monsters, one from your hand and one from your deck, to the graveyard. Then, draw 2 cards. This is why the Neospatians saw play. Or at least half the reason is this is just great draw acceleration and graveyard setup. And if you're discarding correctly, like, Glowmoss and Dark Panther, then you're setting up for a Chaos play. That's pretty good, while going neutral card advantage. I think that's the only reason it's all play, though. It's just that Neospatians were a draw engine, but not a bad one. After that, we have Cocoon Party, normal spell. Special summon 1 Chrysalis monster from your deck for each Neospatian monster with a different name in your graveyard. The pie-in-the-sky dream for Cocoon Party is have 5 different Neospatians in your graveyard. Special summon 5 monsters directly from your deck. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Incredible board. But if you think running Garnet is a problem, how about running 5 Garnets in your deck? And it only really works in a specific circumstance, like you need to set up. I guess you could activate multiple copies of Convert Contact. You could card Destruction. But man, running 5 Garnets in your deck to make this play work is crazy. Is it a Seto Kaiba reference with the monsters? Oh. Because we got a Vorse Raider and Kaiser Seahorse. It probably is a reference. I guess Yugi's playing against Kaiba. Or not Yugi. Jaden's playing against Kaiba in this circumstance. Pretty cool. We're just going to put you here. Or maybe here. 5 Garnets, man. Next up, we have Nex. Not the boss. Normal spell. Send 1 face-up Neospatian monster you control to the graveyard. Special summon 1 level 4 monster with the same name from your fusion deck. And I guess this is why they had to have the same name. Boy, is that a bad reason? Could have just been, a Neospatian monster from your extra deck 1 level higher. Like, make it a rank up card. Make it a little bit better. The thing that bugs me, though, is we only ever get 2 monsters. But there's 6 on the artwork. There's no, Typhoon Hummingbird. No Magma. Oh, they already used the word Magma. Inferno Scarab. No Grandermole. We did get a Glowmoss. No Darker Panther. If this card... I think this is a prime card for future design that would fit thematically, is just give us 4 more targets for Nex and make them okay to good. Next was just proto mask change. Oh, I can agree with that. But I think the card is it's pretty bad on its own. It's bad because its targets are bad. The idea is good though. I like the idea. Next up, Cocoon Rebirth. Continue a spell. You contribute 1 face-up Chrysalis monster you control to special summon 1 Neospacian monster written in its card text of that card from either player's graveyard. So the Neospacians, or I guess the Chrysalis monsters, usually under Neospace Tribute, bring out their actual Neospacian. This time, instead of under Neospace, we could bring out the Neospacians from either player's graveyard because, you know, the mirror match is a thing. I guess it makes your Chrysalis monsters a little less bricky. I don't think you even play this with them, though. Arguably, you are trading one monster for a better version. That part's true. And it's not once per turn. Next up, Venom Swamp. Field spell. During each player's end phase, place 1 Venom counter on each face-up monster except Venom monsters. Monsters lose 500 attack for each Venom counter on them. Destroy a monster if its attack becomes 0 by this effect. I wonder what happens when you have a 0 attack monster that gets a Venom counter on it. Does it reduce 0 to 0 and then get destroyed by Venom Swamp? I don't know if that's ever happened. Why couldn't the Otherworld A-Zone be a little bit better? I like this card. Just accumulate counters for free. And tell us what the counters do. I guess you're slowly poisoning the monsters too? I don't know. Okay, 0 attack monsters do stay alive as they don't lose attack. 0 attack monsters immune to Venom Swamp. Ooh. Doesn't pop 0 attack monsters for some reason. Yep. I guess 1 line of card text to destroy any monster with 0 attack on the field. That would have made the card a little better, but it's so niche. Do we put it in archetype? Yeah, you run Venom Swamp in your Venom deck, but your Venom deck doesn't do anything. If it did pop 0 attack monsters, imagine the Yubel synergy. Ooh, I do like that. Oh, that would be amazing. Okay, maybe the card is balanced, but I don't think it's particularly good. I like the idea, though. This is recurring advantage. Does this combo with Reverse Trap? Can you make your monsters stronger with Venom Swamp? I guess you could. I think maybe you're not... I don't think we've put a single Venom card as playable, so maybe it just stays here. I like the idea of recurring monster removal, though. But you gotta argue, does this work better or worse than Bottomless Shifting Sand? I guess not. Next up, an amazing card that has possibly warped the entire game. Or I guess it has caused so much difficulty in printing new reptiles in the future. Snake Rain, normal spell, discard 1 card, send 4 reptile monsters from your deck to your graveyard. This is quadruple Foolish Burial, but it does cost a card in hand, so I guess it's double Foolish Burial, I guess is how I'd say it. Man. The plays that this card sets up are underwhelming. But you play it in Odatic, and possibly you play it in the Alliance deck. It's sad that we can't get better reptile monsters, but one day, Snake Rain is going to be amazing. Venom needs new support? Yeah. Let's tie the new Venom support to Snake Rain. Finally give us some good targets with it. That'd be fantastic. If they made a DNA surgery for the deck, they would have to ban it. Oof. DNA surgery works on field, though. Oh, I understand what you're saying. Snake Rain just being able to send 4 monsters from your deck to your graveyard, any type, that would be crazy. That would be nutty. That'd be amazing. What would I even put in my graveyard? Treeborn Frog, Plague Spreader Zombie. I don't know. The options are Glow Up Bulb. The options are, there's a lot of good cards you could do. Glow Up Bloom, Mizuki. 4 copies, 4 Mizuki. 3 Mizuki, and then Glow Up Bloom. That'd be fun. I don't know. We're not fixing Snake Rain. Don't worry about it. Next up, Venom Shot. Normal spell. Activate only when you control a face-up Venom monster, Venomanaga, the deity of poisonous snakes, or Venomenon, the king of poisonous snakes. They had to include the 2 cards that aren't actually Venom monsters. Why didn't they make them Venom monsters? They're already immune. I don't understand this design choice. Send 1 reptile-type monster from your deck to the graveyard and place 2 Venom counters on 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Tinfoil hat level combo. I thought that since you bring out Starving Venom Dragon from the extra deck, you could tech in Venom Shot and get a Foolish Burial. And I guess Venom counters for no effect. But this card's really good in Archetype, at least. The problem with that is I thought that you could bring out Starving Venom Dragon with Dragon's Mirror, and you can, but not using monsters from your graveyard, unfortunately, which makes the card significantly worse. But at least Venom Shot's a decent card. Next up, Cyberdark Impact. The card, not the set. I think this is like the 2nd or 3rd time this has happened. Cyberdark Impact, not in the set Cyberdark Impact. Labyrinth of Nightmare, not in the set Labyrinth of Nightmare. I don't know why they do that. Normal spell, fusion summon 1 Cyberdark Dragon from your extra deck by shuffling one each of Cyberdark Horn, Cyberdark Edge, and Cyberdark Keel from your hand, field, and or graveyard into the deck as fusion material. I think you play it in Archetype. This is a fun card to goof around with, though. It's just the Cyberdark materials are not very good. The other thing is, like, how much better is Cyberdark Impact compared to Overload Fusion? Yeah, you're shuffling into the deck. You got more options of where it's coming from. But you're limited to only Cyberdark Dragon? So maybe this isn't even good in Archetype, because Overload Fusion exists. I guess it's a little lackluster. Next up, Flint Missile. Quick play spell. Destroy 1 monster equipped with Flint. You can return this card to your deck instead of sending it to the graveyard after it resolves. Why would you want to do that? This card's not searchable. You can't just get Flint out on the field and then get Flint Missile. Okay, this card is technically searchable, but not in a convenient way. There's a Mecha Phantom Beast that can bring it out. There's Quick Booster. There's Dark Calling. I know quick play spells are technically searchable, but there's not a good way to search this card. And it only works with 1 card. And at best, this is just destroy 1 monster. I guess we get Soul Taker pretty soon, and Soul Taker, I think, is a better version of this card. It's just underwhelming. I think it was worth considering then, because using materials from hand or grave was pretty unique. But the deck was really bad, so it would still be very whatever. Cyberdark Dragon in general is not very good. I think one of the retrains might require it though. Cyberdark Impact did not have the impact necessary. But Flint Missile, I don't understand, man. Oh no. Next up, Double Summon. Normal spell, you can conduct 2 normal summons / sets this turn, not just one. I love how they added that part to the text to make sure that you understand what this card does. Like, this is one of those cards that the title tells you what it does. Double Summon. I think this card is great most of the time, because it is a pretty generic extender. It sucks when your combo starts and then your opponent interrupts it, especially if you've already used your normal summon. A lot of decks have gotten past that, where if they interrupt your normal summon, you still go off and make an amazing board. But Double Summon's really good, because if they do interrupt that first attempt, you got a plan B. On the other hand, if they don't interrupt your combo, then you can extend further. Possibly putting 2 more monsters on board pretty reasonably. A lot of monsters gain their effect when normal summon. You're thinking Satellar Knights. This card's pretty strong in Satellar Knights. You're thinking Junk Synchron. Love Junk Synchron. You're thinking Armageddon Knight. You're thinking all sorts of cards that benefit from the normal summon. Unizombie. Would Double Summon be better if you could stack them? Definitely. If Double Summon said, you gain an additional normal summon this turn, I think it would be even better. But right now, it's completely playable. It's niche, though. Gadgets, man. You double summon, you get another gadget. Pays for itself instantly. Stratos, get another card. Not bad. Next up, Summoner's Art. Look, it's the whole reason why Cybertech Alligator was in the Jaden Structure deck. It's because otherwise this card wouldn't make any sense. I'm convinced that's the only reason, that they had to release it sometime, and they chose the Jaden Structure deck. Because Jaden's never played Cybertech Alligator, and it has nothing to do with heroes. But it's in this card's artwork. What does it do? Normal spell, add 1 level 5 or higher normal monster from your deck to your hand. You can search Dark Magician with this card. Mostly, you search it for archetype pieces. Hieratics have a really big level 8 normal monster. Oh, it does work well with Trade-In now that I think of it. Blue Eyes can get searched pretty easily with Summoner's Art. And of course, the big benefit of Summoner's Art is normal pendulum monsters, I guess? You can search a lot of different scales, and that's pretty good. Beyond that, though, I don't think it's great. If your archetype has a normal monster that fits these parameters, it improves it. The thing can't search the higher level Gemini monsters because they don't treat themselves as normal monsters in the deck. Why does this keep coming up? At least normal monsters get good support, though. Next up, Creature Seizure. Normal spell. Each player gives their opponent control of one of their monsters. Controller's choice. You must choose a face-up normal monster. Ooh. So Creature Swap gets semi-limited. Creature Swap might actually go to 1 now that I think of it. I think it's only semi-limited, though. And Creature Seizure is slightly watered down Creature Swap. You are giving them a brickier monster. So you should be getting the good side of the deal, but I think it's just not quite there. You're going -1, and you're taking their monster. It's just worse creature swap. Yeah, Cleavefort, Scout, and Monolith are great targets for Summoner's Art. Exactly. Next up, Phalanx Pike. Equip spell. Creature Seizure does let you change battle position. Yay! That is true. Phalanx Pike. Equip spell. The equipped monster gains 900 attack for each card in either graveyard that has the same name it does. Is this Skull Servant support? Like you put it on your Skull Servant, your normal monster Skull Servant, and then it gets really beefy? That'd be funny. I think this card is designed for Harpies, specifically. Because we're finally getting to the point where Harpy monsters treat themselves as Harpies in the graveyard with Harpy Queen. So, 5 Harpies in grave. Phalanx Pike. Gaining, what is that? 4,500 attack points? Not bad. Creature Seizure. Okay. Creature Swap was limited at the time that Creature Seizure was made. Okay. So this is your second and third copy of Creature Swap, I guess. Underwhelming. I think this is okay. I think sometimes United We Stand is still going to be your better option. But specifically in a few decks, with cards that treat themselves as the name of other cards, it's okay. Next up, Symbols of Duty. Equip spell. Send 1 normal monster you control to the graveyard. Then target 1 monster in either player's graveyard. Special summon it, and if you do, equip it to this card. Equip this card to it. When this card leaves the field, destroy the equipped monster. Woohoo! They learned from Premature Burial. You can't just bounce this thing and then use it again. This is a -1, sorta. A -1. I know the equip spell remains on the field. Monster Reborn. This is just Monster Reborn with downside and additional cost. But Monster Reborn's banned. I think this card's just bad. Symbols of Heritage, though, that card's a little broken. Next up, Amulet of Ambition. Very unnerving artwork. Equip spell. Equip only to a normal monster. If it battles a monster with a higher level, the equipped monster gains 500 attack times the difference in levels during that damage calculation only. When this card is sent to the graveyard, you can place it on top of your deck. I'm glad this only works with normal monsters. Otherwise, it'd be like sort of deep-seated, and I guess you could use it as another option with your Noble Knight combo. Card's just bad, though. Moonmirror Shield really outshines it. Burden of the Mighty sort of outshines it. I like the theming, though. Are normal monsters good yet? Science still can't answer. What happens when your normal monster turns into an effect monster? Like if you have Amulet of Ambition on a Gemini monster, then summon it the second time. Do you still get the Amulet of Ambition effect? It doesn't self-destruct, I don't think. That's a weird oversight. Next up, Broken Bamboo Sword. Equip spell. The equipped monster gains 0 attack. I don't think this card has ever been used constructively. That doesn't mean that it hasn't been used, though. You play Broken Bamboo Sword for draw power with the Golden Bamboo Sword. There's also the Cursed Bamboo Sword and the Burning Bamboo Sword that come out later. You equip your Royal Magical Library with this, and it gains 0 attack. It's silly. It must be broken. It has broken in its name. It is a little broken. Scary Camel says, I believe you would still get the effect in the Gemini summon situation. Well, that's good at least. But yeah, card's a little bit degenerate. Interacts really positively with Royal Magical Library decks. I guess this card's searchable too. I wonder if anyone was playing Broken Bamboo Sword in their Noble Knights, specifically for more draw power. Next up, Mirror Gate. Normal trap. When an opponent's monster declares an attack targeting a face-up elemental hero monster you control, switch control of the opposing attacking monster with the targeted monster you control, then calculate damage. Control of both monsters switches back during the end phase. I think this card is just confusing and just worse than Magical Arm Shield. Where Magical Arm Shield, you take your opponent's monster and then you make them attack it. This is hero specific and shuffles the monsters around but then gives them back. So I guess the situation is their monster has more attack. They take the battle damage and you lose your monster and then you give back their monster? So your benefit is you've done a little bit of battle damage and that's it? This card's terrible. Broken Bamboo Sword was when I finally realized Konami makes intentionally bad cards, but now it obviously has an archetype of degenerate cards, yeah? People did use it in Noble Knights, but it wasn't good. Okay. Man, some of the bad cards that Konami makes, like Terrible Deal and Cold Feet. Cold Feet, man. Just cold wave yourself. Worst Magical Arm Shield. Next up, Hero Counterattack. When an elemental hero monster you control is destroyed by battle, your opponent chooses one random card from your hand. Then, if it's an elemental hero monster, you destroy one monster your opponent controls. And if you do, special summon the chosen monster. So, we have a hero emerges. And then Hero Counterattack is sort of an upgrade to a Hero Emerges, because you get to pop a card. Popping a monster is pretty good. This makes this card a +1, and you get, a hero from hand. Your heroes in the main deck are not great. I guess you could get out Naos or Blade Edge. But it's also random. I think the fact that it only triggers when it's destroyed is destroyed by battle. Would I rather have Hero Counterattack or Hero Signal? Would I rather search my deck for another hero, or would I rather special summon one from hand and then get to pop a card? I think it's okay. I think it'd be filler in archetype. Next up, Cocoon Veil. Normal trap. Activate by tributing one face-up Chrysalis monster. This turn, any damage to a player caused by an effect becomes 0. Special summon one Neospatian monster written on the Chrysalis monster you tributed from your hand, deck, or from either player's graveyard. So Cocoon Veil. gives any damage caused by... So it removes the ability to burn your opponent. But then you're immune to burn damage too. It's sort of like One Day of Peace, except significantly worse. I guess it's more options when you don't have Neospace out. It's just a very underwhelming effect. We get much better ways to deal with burn damage in the future. Like Haniwa. Haniwada? We get a hand trap later. Next up, Snake Whistle. Normal trap. Activate only when a reptile monster you control is destroyed. Special summon one level 4 or lower reptile type monster from your deck. We talked about Hero Signal. This is, you know, Hero Signal reptile version. Reptiles are a type, not an archetype, so I'm not putting it here. But I'm putting it here. It means that reptiles are way more searchable. Condition's a little bit difficult though. Gotta wait for one to get destroyed by battle. We can compare this to damage equals reptile. Man, I love the name and the artwork. Continuous trap. Once per turn, when you take damage from battle involving a reptile monster, you can special summon one reptile monster from your deck with attack less than or equal to the damage you took. Card's great. It makes a lot of cards searchable. And of course, this guy, your big Venomenon, is the best target because he's a big guy, but he has 0 attack points. So real easy to bring him out with damage equals reptile. People say that reptiles get no support. They're lying. Because they also get a counter trap with Snake Deity's Command. Activate by showing your opponent one venom monster in your hand. Oh, I'm wrong. It's not generic reptile support. I'm thinking of the other Snake Deity card. Negate the activation and effect of an opponent's spell card and destroy it. Snake Deity's Command is Magic Jammer, but you reveal a venom monster instead of paying the cost, or paying the discard cost. It's really good in Archetype, I'll say that. So far the Venom support has been okay. It is just spell cards though. It'd be better if this was a proper Infernity Barrier. On the other hand, you're not losing card advantage, it's 1-for-1 negation. We'll get Infernity Barrier later. Next up, Rise of the Snake Deity. Normal trap. When a face-up Venomenon, the king of poisonous snakes you control is destroyed except by battle, special summon one Venomenon in the deity of poisonous snakes from your hand or deck. This is the only way you can get out Venomenaga, and that's the problem. I think it's only fair to put them together. Next up, Ambush Fangs. Normal trap. Activate only when a face-up venom monster you control is declared as an attack target. Negate the attack and end the battle phase. Then place one venom counter on the monster that attacked. Flavor's pretty cool. Also, look, that's Gagigo, or Giga Gagigo, maybe. But they're reptiles, they should be friends. But they're not. This card is sort of like Negate Attack, but with upside in Archetype, and that's not bad. I like a slightly better version of Negate Attack. I'm completely fine with that. Rise of the Snake Deity gets easier to trigger when we get Limit Reverse. I guess it does. That is true. Next up, Venom Burn. Normal trap. Select one monster with venom counters. Remove all venom counters from that card and inflict 700 damage to your opponent for each venom counter removed. Potentially you could do a lot of damage. It does more damage than you lose in attack points. So this card does scale pretty decently. But I think it's just... I think it's not a lot of effect damage is the problem. It just takes too long to accumulate venom counters. I think if a monster with a venom counter on it was unable to attack, the venom would be crazy. And thematically it makes sense, like a lot of snakes paralyze their prey when they attack and inject venom. Be interesting. Might be too strong though. It turns Venom Cobra into wave motion cannon with enough counters from Swamp. That's true. And you can accumulate more than one counter at a time. I guess if you're playing as intended, maybe Venom Burn is your win condition. Not Cobra, any 0 attack monster. Okay, I understand what you're saying. Next up, Common Charity. Normal trap. Draw 2 cards. Then banish 1 normal monster from your hand. Or, if you have none, send your entire hand to the graveyard. This is sort of like Allure from Darkness, but it's normal support. It's also slightly better than Allure of Darkness in certain circumstances. Sends your entire hand to the graveyard? What if you wanted to do that anyway? I don't know. It's a trap card. It's slower than Allure of Darkness. Can't extend with it. Normal monsters just aren't getting much. I'm sad. I wish Common Charity were a little bit better. Just a little bit. After that, we have Destructive Draw. Continuous trap. If either player has no cards in their hand at the start of their draw phase, they can draw 1 more card in addition to their normal draw. That sounds pretty good. This card's controller loses 700 life points during their end phase. If less than 700, they become 0 instead. When this face-up card is removed from the field, inflict 3,000 damage to the player who controlled it. Man. That effect is 1, symmetrical, so you could be benefiting your opponent. They can draw free cards. Don't want to be giving your opponent free cards. 2, 700 life points, pretty decent amount every turn, especially if it does nothing because you have too many cards in hand. 3, when this card is removed from the field by any ways, so if it's bounced, if it's destroyed, you take 3,000 damage. 3,000 damage, and there are ways that you could get around that 3,000 damage downside, but man, that's a lot of damage racking up for maybe 1 or 2 cards of advantage. Your opponent's MST turns into a triple meteor of destruction. 3,000 is a huge number. For 3,000 life points, you get Solemn Scolding. But with Destructive Draw, you get the option of maybe drawing another card. It's just so many life points. When we get Lucky Punch, it plays at double or nothing, but it'll be a while before we get Lucky Punch. The risk is just not worth the reward, in my opinion. Next up, Shield Spear. Huh. I guess that's what this artwork looks like. I don't know, it's very weird to me. Normal trap, target 1 face-up monster on the field. It gains 400 attack and defense until the end phase. I legitimately think that this card could have been released in starter deck Kaiba, because we got like reinforcements and castle walls around that time. That gives you 500 attack or 500 defense, respectively. This card does 400 to either. But here's the thing. Do you need both? Is there a situation where you need both attack and defense? Because usually it's one or the other. Castle walls, bulk up a little bit and then survive an attack that you shouldn't have. Or, I don't know. It's just so underwhelming. And released so late in the game. It's okay in Battle Pack Draft? Okay. But reinforcements would be better. I don't know. And reinforcements, you can at least push a little bit of damage. This is not worth a card to me. This is a 2002 card. Printed in Tactical Evolution for some reason. Next up, Strike Slash. Normal trap. When a monster you control declares an attack until the end phase, that monster gains 700 attack. Also, if it attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. It's like a one-time Fairy Meteor Crush, 700 attack. I guess this is a combination of Fairy Meteor Crush and Rush Recklessly. It's better than Shield Spear, which is good. Doing attack and defense gives it some utility, I guess, somehow. I mean, I guess if there's any position changing shenanigans, it's only till the end phase, too. How did I just notice this is Alien Shock Trooper? I think card art is a little bit too small to see a lot of the time in Yu-Gi-Oh! To work out the details. There's a whole bunch of things that I've learned just playing or just getting cards for this series, because you actually get a good view of them for once. Strike Slash should be called Crush Recklessly. Thank you, Lamron. Next up, Spell Reclamation. Normal trap. Discard one card and chain this card to a spell card you activated. Whenever that spell card is sent to the graveyard, return it to the owner's hand. I think it only means one time. This card would be really busted if it just, every time that spell card would go to the graveyard, it returns to your hand. That would be incredible. I have no idea what's happening in the art. Well, that's the spell, and he's reclaiming it. To me, Serial Spell comes to mind. I guess Serial Spell is discard your whole hand. This is just discard one card. But you're going -1 and trading this card for your spell again. This is nowhere close to Demok. Its counterpart, though, is Trap Reclamation. Normal trap. Discard one card and chain this card to a trap card you activated. Whenever that trap card is sent to the graveyard, return it to the owner's hand. This card is significantly worse, because it at least makes sense that you want to double up on your spell, but traps your opponent is going to see coming. So I think Trap Reclamation is just worse. If you chain it to Pot of Greed, it becomes neutral card advantage. I guess if you chain Trap Reclamation to specifically Reckless Greed, it gets a little bit better, because then you could activate Reckless Greed again and, well, it'd take a round and only accumulate one more turn of not being able to draw. Unless you had a card that could activate traps from your hand, like Jetroid. That's so specific, though, because you don't have Makura the Destructor and you don't have Temple of Kings. Card's just bad, I think. Compare this to like Phoenix Feather or Magical Stone Excavation. I think those are better. Maybe Serial Spell. Serial Spell is so close to being broken, though. It gets around hard once per turn, which is also nice. Next up, Gift Card. Normal Trap. Your opponent gains 3,000 life points. This is one of the best cards for Nurse Burn in the game. Try and Guess is good. The Paths of Destiny is okay. Gift Card, 3,000 damage. When you have bad reaction to Samuchi or Nurse Dark Lord Nurse Refugule. That's the only reason you play this card. I guess it's technically not. You could have Hope for Escape, and your opponent having more life points, you get to draw more cards off of Hope for Escape. Okay. That's okay, I guess. The card's just degenerate, though. It only interacts with a couple cards in the game, and it's not fun either. Its counterpart is the Gift of Greed. Normal Trap. Your opponent draws 2 cards. That's the whole effect. When does Nurse come out? Nurse comes out in Europe in Tag Force Evolution. Oh, hold on. Okay, I guess Nurse does not come out in this video, but it comes out soon. It comes out in right at the end of 2007 in Europe and right at the beginning of 2008 in North America. I don't know why I thought it was in this set. But yeah, you're activating Gift of Greed. You're giving your opponent 2 cards, but it costs you a card. You're going -3, giving your opponent free draws. The only reason why you'd want to use Gift of Greed is Appropriate. Then you get to draw 2 cards too, but it's still going -1 because you use this trap for acceleration. It is just really bad card. Yeah, Appropriate's the only interaction I can think of. It's not even a good deck out card because it doesn't replace itself. Like Morphing Jar and Cyber Drawer, those make sense in deck out because you can gain advantage from them. Not the Gift of Greed. Next up, we have Counter Counter. Let me find it. Here we go. Now, we're gonna wait for a second and see if you can spot the difference. This is the original printing of Counter Counter versus the modern printing. Do 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 banana banana. Yeah. I'd almost say design mistake for Gift of Greed. Oh, that's interesting. Original printing wasn't a counter trap. Yep. Incredible misprint. I think that might even be a design mistake. Like they got the giant counter symbol in the artwork, but then they forgot to put it where it goes. So counter counter wasn't a counter trap, making it impossible to use against counter traps. Its entire purpose because of this print. I have this misprint, by the way. It's a funny design mistake more than anything. But in terms of what the card actually does, it's very narrow. And I don't think it's particularly good. Misprint was TCG only? Oh, okay. Think they'll get it with a counter? Now, we need it twice, you think? Man, if the card was just called Counter, that'd be funny. But yeah, Counter Counter. Technical design mistake. I believe the next few cards are TCG exclusive, or at least were at the time of release. They're also really weird. 7 Tools already existed. It was still bad even without the misprint. Oh yeah. Well, it's totally unplayable with the misprint. But you're right. 7 Tools of the Bandit, pay 1,000 life points. Significantly better. There's other counter traps in the game too, like Curse of Royal, maybe. Trap Jammer. Back to Ocean Keeper. And yeah, he's got a derpy face. Goldfish in general look derpy with their eyes like that, but he especially. Water Attribute, level 3. Fish, effect. During battle between this attacking card and a defense position monster whose defense is lower than the attack of this card, inflict the difference as battle damage to your opponent. When this card is destroyed by battle, add 1 Thousand-Eyes Jellyfish or 1 Cranium Fish from your deck to your hand. 1,500 attack, 1,200 defense. On the surface, this card sort of power creeps Mad Sword Beast. It's got a little bit more attack. You could also compare it to Exarion Universe, where that had the option of doing piercing battle damage. This card pays for itself when it's destroyed by battle. That's good, at least. I think we're going to hold off evaluation until we see the other 2 cards it searches. First of which is Thousand-Eyes Jellyfish. Water Attribute, level 5. Fish, effect. This card cannot be normal summoned or set. This card cannot be special summoned except by tributing 1 Ocean Keeper. Your opponent must play with their hand revealed. 300 attack, 2,100 defense. And this thing is ugly. It's cool looking too, but it is so ugly. I think this card has counter synergy with Ocean Keeper, because your Ocean Keeper got destroyed and then you search this card and then you don't have it anymore. I guess you could salvage and then normal summon it again and then bring out your Thousand-Eyes Jellyfish. And you can special summon it in defense mode, and 2,100 defense is okay. The benefit though, looking at your opponent's hand, that's a pretty good benefit. In modern game, if this card was, a lot easier to bring out and you could special summon it directly from the deck, maybe it'd be okay. Sort of like how Mind on Air functions. Seeing what your opponent has so that you can counterplay against their counterplay perfectly is fantastic. The upside is definitely there. Just the juice is not worth the squeeze, and I would not like to squeeze this thing. The other card it can search is Cranium Fish. Water Attribute, level 6. Fish, effect. You can special summon this card by tributing 1 Ocean's Keeper. You can discard 1 water monster to the graveyard to destroy 1 face-down card. 2,400 attack, 1,000 defense. Better stat lineup. Decent for a level 6 monster. You can't cheat it out with the Legendary Ocean, it's slightly too high level for that. But notice how this card doesn't require you to have Ocean Keeper. You can just normal summon it, and then you can discard water monsters and start popping face down cards if you wanted to. It's not once per turn, so you could potentially pop lots of cards. I think this card doesn't function in Mermail, but it sort of does. I don't know. It's also interesting that in the artwork you have the same fish from Fish Depth Charge. That's cute. This card's almost decent is what I'm saying. especially if you're not running Ocean Keeper. But I think we'll just put them like this. Thousand-Eyed Jellyfish is the counter to Lord of the Heavenly Prison that we've been missing. Oh, right, because Lord of the Heavenly Prison requires itself to be revealed. That is so niche, though. After Cranium Fish, we get Abyssal King Shark. Hey, it's a shark. Sharks are an archetype eventually. Water attribute, level 4, fish, effect. Once per turn, if this card would be destroyed by an effect that does not target it, it is not destroyed. 1700 attack, 600 defense. Pretty mediocre stat line, all things considered. But it does have a little bit of protection. I think your opponent activating Fissure on your Abyssal King Shark could happen. Or you can run this guy into Mirror Force one time, but that's it. Next up, we're bringing back the why wasn't this in the structure deck idea with Mormolith. Specifically, this should have been in the rock structure deck, just saying. Earth attribute, level 4, rock effect. You contribute 1 face-up earth monster to destroy all face-up monsters with defense equal to or less than the attack of the tributed card. Oh, you gotta be careful though, because Mormolith is going to be face-up, and it doesn't have much defense. So I guess you could bring out like Mega Rock Dragon. That's got a lot of stats. Tribute it with Mormolith, but then Mormolith also gets destroyed. The other side of this is Mormolith can take out a whole bunch of monsters with 1000 or less defense. I think optimistically it's filler. But I think it would have actually been okay in the rock structure deck. Not good, but it makes sense to me at least. Get this guy off of Giant Rat. Maybe boost its attack a little bit. I can see it being sort of similar to Throwstone Unit. Next up, Fossil Tusker. Earth attribute, level 4, rock, effect. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict 400 damage to your opponent. 1800 attack, 0 defense. Level 4, 1800 attack with the benefit, I guess? It's not a lot of burn damage. But I don't know. It's okay. I'm not disappointed by it. I'm very gruntled, I guess. Now back to our Geminis with Phantom Dragon Ray Bronto. Water attribute, level 4. Looks terrifying. The way that it's like got an eel coming out of its mouth and makes me feel like a parasite. Thinking like Mr. Meaty. Gemini effect is the original attack of this card becomes 2300. If this card attacks, it is changed to defense position at the end of the battle phase. This card's battle position cannot be changed until the end of your next turn except with a card effect. 1500 attack, 1000 defense. I guess if you're bringing this out with Mother Grizzly, it's a little bit better. But this card, after normal summoning it, is Goblin Attack Force, which is more searchable because we have Rhoda. I just don't understand. This card could just be Fish Goblin Attack Force. Worst Goblin Attack Force. Why? Yeah, thank you, Lamron. Could have been the other card. Didn't have to be a Gemini monster. Next up, Ill Blood. Dark attribute, level 6, zombie, Gemini. Gemini effect is once per turn, you can special summon one zombie type monster from your hand or from either graveyard. But if this card leaves the field, destroy all zombie monsters special summoned by this effect. 2100 attack, 800 defense. And yeah, this card saw play. I don't think it's fast enough for modern zombie decks. It does have the Gigaplant problem of, yeah, you can use Ill Blood and bring out another one with the Super Alloy Beast Reptar. Don't worry about that too much. Card's pretty decent though. Mizuki comes out in a couple sets. You can bring this guy back from the grave, normal summon it, extend from there. Not bad, especially if you get out like a Zombie Master. Zombies go ham, is what I'm saying. Fish Goblin Attack Force makes me imagine the same Goblin Force. They're wearing mermaid tails though. I like that. Where's my Mermail Goblin crossover? Yeah, Ill Blood was great. Too slow now, but it definitely had its moment in the sun. Next up, Blazewing Butterfly. Fire attribute, level 4. Insect Gemini. Gemini effect is, you contribute this card, then target one Gemini monster in your graveyard except Blazewing Butterfly, special summon that target, and if you do, it becomes an effect monster and gains its effect. 1500 attack, 1500 defense. It just doesn't synergize with the other Geminis is the problem. Your ex has a tattoo of this card? Of Blazewing Butterfly? I don't know if I feel sorry for them or want to congratulate them. If that's one of their favorite cards, I've said this before. One of the reasons I really dislike when cards get banned is, what if that was your favorite card? What if that was the first card you got in a pack? It is pretty cool artwork, at least. I think it's okay in Gemini decks. But do Gemini decks exist? Is it worth Blazewing? Is it worth Blazewing? Is so interesting. It reads good, just not good enough. Yeah, it's too balanced. If Blazewing Butterfly just had this effect, didn't have to be normal summoned again, I think it'd be playable. I think it'd be a little bit dumb with like Gigaplant, for instance, or Ill Blood. But I think it'd be splashable at least. Especially since you could possibly get it directly from the deck with Insect Imitation. Why doesn't this card just get the Gemini effect all the time? Make a new one. Blazier Butterfly. I don't know. Next up, our Shonen Jump Championship promo. Or Shonen Jump Championship prize card. Goldsark. And so far these have been knocking it out of the park with cards like Cyberstein and Crush Card. Man, Goldsark is on that level. Normal spell, banish one card from your deck, face up. During your second standby phase after this card's activation, add that card to your hand. And of course, there's ways that you can abuse Goldsark. DD Scout Plane immediately gets banished. Get it back at the end of your turn. Not bad. This card works really well with Ritual Beasts. It's definitely been included in a lot of decks. It doesn't have the same problem that Different Dimension Burial has. Burial from a Different Dimension. That's not the right one. Different Dimension Capsule. That's the one I'm thinking of. Where if your opponent blows it up, then your card's just stuck. Goldsark's significantly better than that. And it does have some interesting interactions. Necroface. Necroface is another one that's a little bit dirty. Just banishing 5 cards. Ooh. Ooh! Goldsark seeing play currently in Malleus. I'm sorry, in Malice. Easily worth considering today, especially how well Goldsark has aged. Yeah. Fantastic. I love it when cards are worth considering. There's just a lot of cards that you want to banish. Next up, we got our jump promo. We got the first of our Wicked Gods, the Wicked Eraser. Dark Attribute, level 10, Fiend, effect. Cannot be special summoned. Must be normal summon / set by tributing 3 monsters. This card's attack and defense are equal to the number of cards your opponent controls times 1000. During your main phase, you can destroy this card. If this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, destroy all cards on the field. Question mark attack, question mark defense. Man, tributing 3 monsters to get this card out, but then you could wipe the field. Or it could just be a real strong beater. I think these cards are really interesting because the Egyptian God cards aren't in the game yet. So if you wanted to play with Slifer, this card is Retrain of Slifer, you can't. So we have Slifer at home. I don't know, it sort of scales better than Slifer though. Your opponent having more cards on the field. It's a comeback card too. It's just the cost is really high, trying to tribute 3 monsters for it. It's not bad though. I think it's filler. If this card came out about the same time that Guilford the Lightning and Moisture creature came out, I think it would have been significantly more playable. Still want some Wicked God support, honestly? Yeah. I mean, the Sacred Beasts got a structure deck. Why not the Wicked Gods? Next up, we're moving into our champion pack cards with Gurnia. Dark Attribute, level 4, Zombie, effect. Once per turn, during your standby phase, after this face-up card you control was destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, special summon it from your graveyard. 1300 attack, 1200 defense. This card is like Vampire Lord, except Vampire Lord is significantly better stats, and they're both searchable by Pyramid Turtle. Yes, you could normal summon Gurnia without a tribute, but then you only have a 1300 attack monster. It's once per turn. You can use the last effect of the Wicked Eraser with Fire King Island since it doesn't matter where it's destroyed from. Ooh, that's spicy. I like that idea. There's a few other cards that destroy cards in hand too. Spicy though. Oh, that's so good. We're gonna put it down here. I think Gurnia is just underwhelming though. Next up, Masked Beast Desgardius? I say it wrong every time. I want to call it Gradius. Dark Attribute, level 8, Fiend effect. Cannot be normal summon / set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by tributing 2 monsters, including at least 1 Grand Tiki Elder or Melkid the Four-Faced Beast. If this card is sent to the graveyard, if this card is sent from the field to your graveyard, target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Equip 1 Mask of Remnants from your deck to it. 3300 attack, 2500 defense. I think this card is funny that Rescue Rabbit can get Melkid the Four-Faced Beast or Grand Tiki Elder, and it brings out 2 copies of them. So I guess you could Rescue Rabbit, special summon those, special summon this guy from your hand. And then you got a big beater at least. You got big number. More than a Blue Eyes. It is stronger than a Blue Eyes, Yugi. Thank you. let's look at how good the Mask of Remnants is before we evaluate. Mask of Remnants, normal spell. When this card is activated, shuffle this card from the field into the deck. What? While this card is equipped to a monster by the effect of Masked Beast Des Guardius, take control of that monster. I think, honestly, Des Guardius is bad Dark Necrofear? Because Dark Necrofear does steal a monster, equips itself, you know, is a little bit easier to get out, has less attack. And about the same condition, too. Sent from the field to the graveyard is easier to accomplish than Dark Necrofear's effect or Dark Necrofear's condition, to be honest. The fact that the Mask of Remnants does absolutely nothing, just shuffles itself back into the deck, is funny, though. This should have cycled, like, draw one when it's back to the deck. Oh, man. If Mask of Remnants replaced itself with another card, that would be crazy. It would make a lot of decks faster. It would make Royal Magical Library draw even better. Honestly, for gimmicky old anime boss standards, this isn't so bad, since it's a big guy that fetches a Snatch Steal. True. The concept of the Masked Beast is kind of cool, to be honest. Thank you, Yugi. Sure seems like a lot of hoops to jump through, even if Snatch Steal is banned. Yeah. We're going to say it's very bad. The fact that Mask of Remnants, though, is a little bit funny. Its whole effect is to shuffle itself. That's silly. Like Jackpot 7. Next up, Mad Reloader. Dark Attribute, level 1, Fiend, effect. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, send 2 cards from your hand to the graveyard, and if you do, draw 2 cards. 0 attack, 0 defense. I guess this is hand destruction? Not card destruction, hand destruction. Discard 2, draw 2. It's just real hard to use. What do? Do you set this? Do you float into this? If you float into it, it's going to be in attack position. You 1 for 1? Like, 1 for 1's not out, obviously, but eventually. It has to be destroyed by battle. That's the worst part. Lamron. Right, I was using my MTG brain when I said that. I forgot if a single card does literally any draws, it's good. Arguably. Guard penalty is sort of there. Draw muscle is sort of there. Dark World dealings, but harder to use. Yep. I think this card's just bad. It's optional, at least. No, it's not optional. It's not optional. It's always going to send. Next up, Dark Bribe. Counter Trap. When your opponent activates a spell/trap card, your opponent draws 1 card. Also negate the spell/trap activation, and if you do, destroy it. Dark Bribe, I think, is one of those bad cards that just lined up pretty well. I don't want to give my opponent cards. That's not a good strategy, unless you're using Appropriate. But sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes their spell is going to be that impactful, or their trap is, Mirror Force and going to wipe your entire board, or Torrential Tribute and going to wipe your entire board. Sometimes it's worth it. I don't think it's great anymore. I think it's easy to run, which is good. It's easy to use. I just don't want to give my opponent cards. This is also when MST was banned. That's true. To me, Dark Bribe is good, but feels bad. Next up, Chaos Burst. Normal trap. When your opponent's monster declares an attack, tribute one monster, then target the attacking monster, destroy that target, then inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. Man, this card reads weird. Okay, so you gotta wait for them to attack. Then you gotta tribute a monster. Then it targets. Then it destroys. And then it does 1000 damage. You know what doesn't force you to tribute a monster? Still destroys their monster? Sakuretsu Armor. Which, pretty decent card. So the upside of Chaos Burst is dealing 1000 damage, but you have to tribute a monster. If you had a spell card, tribute one monster, deal 1000 damage to your opponent, it'd be bad Meteor of Destruction. So this card is not good, even though it might read a little bit better. Definitely not Ring of Destruction. Sort of similar to Destruction Ring, to be honest, though. And it's not Symmetric Burn, it only hits your opponent, so slightly better. It's a -1 to do 1k burn. Unless there's like a combo you can do. Dark Bribe has a YCS top from as soon as 3 months ago from YCS Quito. Okay. We'll bump it up. That is fair. I still think Dark Bribe's a bad card, but when you need it, it works. Next up, Premium Pack cards. Ooh. We got Magician of Black Chaos, which is not a Dark Magician card. I sort of feel like it should be. It's in that weird space. Like, I guess Black Chaos's Demox evolved form or something? It's related. Dark Attribute, level 8, Spellcaster Ritual. You can ritual summon this card with Black Magic Ritual. 2800 attack, 2600 defense. Its ritual is Black Magic Ritual, ritual spell. This card is used to ritual summon Magician of Black Chaos. You must also tribute monsters from your hand or field, whose total levels equal 8 or more. This card could have been released, honestly, instead of Blackluster Soldier, or in addition to Blackluster Soldier. It's not bad, it's just Yugi has a better ritual monster in his deck. Yeah, Magician of Black Chaos wasn't in the TCG until mid-GX, yep. This card got to TCG so late, I agree. Yugi says, I say this non-biased. I think Magician is worth considering today. Magician of Black Chaos is currently the face of the best deck in Rush Duels, and was the first ritual printed. Okay. We don't count Rush Duel, unfortunately. We're just gonna say normal bad. Next up, Marshmallow. Light Attribute, level 3, Fairy, effect. Cannot be destroyed by battle. After damage calculation, if this card was attacked and was face down at the start of damage step, the attacking player takes 1000 damage. 500 attack, or 300 attack, 500 defense. Interesting. Rush Duels also puts rituals into the extra deck like they should have been from the beginning, yeah? Magician of Black Chaos, the Master of Leather. Yeah, Marshmallow was really good, limited several times. When we compare it to Spirit Reaper, it's sort of favorable and sort of not. 1000 burn damage, not ripping cards out of the opponent's hand. You know, tomato, potato. When we compare it to Stealth Bird, 1000 damage one time, but it's real hard to get over. It's like the middle ground between those two and doesn't self-destruct like Spirit Reaper does, which is really good. Marshmallow, extremely formidable. It even has its own support card, Marshmallow Glasses. While Marshmallow is in your monster zone, your opponent cannot target monsters other than Marshmallow for attacks. I think this card's pretty unnecessary. Marshmallow's already good at stalling. Next up, we get another hand trap. We love hand traps. Dark Attribute, level 4, Gemini Imps. Fiend, effect. During either player's turn, when your opponent activates a spell card, trap card, or monster effect that could make you discard when it resolves, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it, then draw one card. 1000 attack, 1000 defense. Hand Disruption isn't dominant in the game. I wish Gemini Imps was printed instead of, Electric Snake. Because it'd be way better in Goat. It'd make Goat feel a lot better. Because I hate getting my cards ripped out of my hand. But man, this card's extremely playable, if not niche. It's definitely had a lot of impact during different periods of the game. Like, it's definitely been meta a few times. I just don't know if there's a reason to necessarily play it, even in the side deck. This card has the best effect that will never be relevant. Pretty sure it's Delinquent Duo all grown up. I think Gemini Imps actually saw some play when Gumblar Hand Loop was still legal. Yeah. So, if Dark World ever becomes so oppressive that Gemini Imps is in your side deck, pretty decent. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Delinquent Duo. That's cute. It's almost worth considering. It's worth keeping in the back of your mind at the very least. When the time rises, you know, it's there, and it's always good. Next up, we have Return Zombie. Dark Attribute, level 4, Zombie, effect. You can pay 500 life points, add this card from your graveyard to your hand. You must have no cards in your hand to activate and to resolve this effect. During your standby phase, no cards in hand. What happens right before your standby phase? Well, you draw cards, so you'd have one card in hand. There are ways that you can get around this. One, you could skip your draw step with cards like Reckless Greed or Flame Tiger might be able to get it out. Two, you can draw a quick play spell during your draw step and then activate it during your draw step so that during your standby phase you'd have 0 cards in hand. Return Zombie is bad. Sinister Serpent, yeah. Onwards to very bad. We simply draw MST and use it in the standby, of course, yeah. It hasn't gotten a once per turn, so if there is a way to discard it or send it to the graveyard for some benefit, you could do it over and over again. But you'd have to do that in the standby phase. We're just going to say very bad, which is good. I'm glad the card's not better. This card could be a problem. But it's not, which is really good. Next up, Shield Crush. It's got the Millennium Shield, and it's just pow. Normal spell, target one defense position monster on the field, destroy that target. It's a really simple effect, 1-for-1 removal, only works on defense mode monsters. It's simple but effective. It's gonna put you right here. Now it's targeting, now it's destruction, so it's not good anymore, but pretty decent for the time. Next up, Dark Magic Curtain. Normal spell, pay half your life points. Special summon one Dark Magician from your deck. You cannot special summon other monsters the turn you activate this card, but you can set. Oh, did I say special summon? You cannot summon other monsters the turn you activate this card, but you still can set. Man. Pay half your life points, lock yourself out of summoning, and the big benefit is you get a Dark Magician. At least this doesn't give your opponent a Dark Magician as well. That'd be dumb. I think the card's bad, even in Archetype. I know it's an option, but I don't think it's a good option. Half your life points. There's just so much. We got Reverse Aeneas. That didn't cost any life points. Gives you Yugi's boss monster. You know. Half your life points. This could have been it could have been a Duelist Kingdom era card. Red Eyes Fusion, if it was awful, yeah. At least a Hero Lives lets you summon after, yep. It wouldn't even be good if it was a quick play. If it were a quick play, I think it'd be playable. The summon lock is way too bad. This could have been removed, and that would have been fine. I'll pay half your life points. Special summon a Dark Magician directly from your deck. I think that'd be playable. I think it'd be a little silly in the actual Dark Magician deck, though. Even if it was like, you can only special summon spellcasters for the rest of the turn, I think it'd still be playable. It's just too hard right now. Next up, we got the Legacy of Yatagarasu. This card is dumb. Normal trap, activate one of these effects. Draw one card. Activate only if your opponent controls a face-up spirit monster. Draw 2 cards. This card is 3 more copies of Jar of Greed. I don't think this card has ever gotten off that second effect. Like, it probably has. Better Jar of Greed, coming from Yugi and Scary Camel. Better. It technically does have an upside. I just don't think that upside has ever happened. Periodically, a spirit monster does enter the metagame. Asura Priest and Goat, for instance. Tsukiyomi for a lot of the game, actually. And that's it. People are playing Jar of Greed in Goat format. If Legacy of Yata was released in Goat, it would be great. Yep. You could creature swap a spirit monster. Okay, that is actually a pretty decent idea, because then you'd get your spirit monster back at the end of the turn. The one time I've seen someone that could have made use of the draw 2, they forgot it existed. Thank you, Lyrical Star. Legacy is great. Technically, sometimes better Jar of Greed, given that there have been spirits playable for much of the game. I don't know if I agree with that. There is a dedicated spirit deck at a few points in the game. Like, what is it? Nikitama, Aritama. That was playable. And spirits did see a little bit of play. There's also some spirit support coming up pretty soon that does make them a little better too. But I think that's in the Duelist Genesis, I want to say. Yatagarasu was also banned. That is true. I remember sometime in early Zexal, people were playing Tsukiyomi, and this card was talked about, but I don't think it ever panned out to much success. Man. It reads a lot better than it is, I'll say that. There are spirit decks, though. It's weird that, like, Yosenjus aren't spirits for some reason. But we'll move past it. Next up, we got a lore card. Zero Ritual. Ritual spell. This card is used to ritual summon Zero the Mant. You must also tribute monsters from your field or your hand whose total level equals 8 or more. It summons Zero the Mant. Dark Attribute, level 8. Fiend, Ritual. This card can only be ritual summoned with the ritual spell card, Zero Ritual. 2800 attack, 2300 defense. Artwork's a little bit weird. It's got a big cape. I think that this card could have been released in GOAT format, and I think it should have been released in GOAT, specifically because you get another target for Contract with the Abyss. It's that magic level 8 that you want. Zork's 8. What else is 8? Berserk Dragon's 8. Is Demok 8? Demok might be 8. Point is, it would synergize pretty well with the other dark ritual monsters of the same level. In GOAT specifically. But the lore is interesting. Like, this is the Warrior of Zera going through a ritual and then becoming Zera the Mant instead of becoming Archlord Zerato or Mazira Devil. It's like he has 3 different paths of destiny, at least. Pretty cool. We'll put him right next to Magician of Black Chaos. GOAT does have the Masked Beast ritual. I'm not sure what the critical number is, though. I'd like having another option. But maybe the big beater is worth it. Dark Necrofear's level 8, too. Next up, Javelin Beetle Pact, ritual spell. This card is used to ritual summon Javelin Beetle. You must also tribute monsters from your hand or your field whose total level equals 8 or more. And it summons Javelin Beetle. Level 8, Earth Attribute, Insect Ritual. This card can only be ritual summoned with the ritual spell card, Javelin Beetle Pact. Wrong! You could use Earth Chant, 2450 attack, 2550 defense. Why are the stats so low? Just gonna put you over here. You're the worst one so far. Man, the premium pack just... You get Marshmallow, you get Shield Crash, pretty decent cards, and then you just get filler rituals for the most part. Sorry to keep bringing up Rush, but they got a Zera the Mant archetype that actually ties Zera, Mazira, and Zerato together. It's only okay, though. Oh. But the lore! Man, I do need to do something with Rush duels one day. I just don't know if it's ever going to be released in this country. Moving on to the dragon structure deck that I can't remember the name of. We got Felgrand Dragon. Light Attribute, level 8, Dragon Effect. Cannot be special summoned, except from the graveyard. Interesting, it's like the opposite of the creator. And only if it was sent there from the field. Ah, that sucks. If this card is special summoned, target one monster in your graveyard. This card gains attack equal to that monster's times 200. 2800 attack, 2800 defense. So you gotta get this guy out legitimately once. So you gotta get like Heiser Seahorse and tribute it. That sucks. It doesn't revive itself. It's not gonna revive itself. So you gotta have another card to revive it. And then the big benefit of that is it gets up to 2,000 additional attack, which is a little beefy, but man, this is not a good boss monster. Oh, you could use Mausoleum of the Emperor. That card is out. You could normal summon it without tributes, but it costs you 2,000 life points. This card is terrible, though. I'm just so disappointed in it. You call yourself a boss monster? I wouldn't put you in pack filler. Next up, we have Darkblaze Dragon. Fire attribute, level 7. Dragon, effect. If this card is special summoned from your graveyard, its attack and defense become double its original attack and defense. If this card destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. Starts with 1200 attack and 1000 defense. Legitimately mixed up this dude with his retrain. That would have been broken for the era, but now I have to think about it. Aw. Darkblaze, you know, you could bring it off of UFO Turtle if you wanted to. The idea is you want to get this guy in the graveyard, but it's only level 7. It could have been level 8, and then it would have worked with trade-in, and it would have been more synergy within the deck. But what do you actually get if you do revive this card from the graveyard? You get 2400 attack, Flame Wingman. This Flame Wingman with extra steps, maybe? Just put it in normal bad. So far, 2 swings and 2 misses. Next up, Herald of Creation. Light attribute, level 4, spellcaster, effect. Once per turn, you can discard 1 card, then target 1 level 7 or higher monster in your graveyard. Add that target to your hand. 1800 attack, 600 defense. I don't know if you ever played this in like Hieratic. Come to think of it, this card would actually synergize pretty well in your ritual decks that are using level 7 or higher rituals, especially if you're using that magic number 8. Then you could be getting back your material and circumventing some of the downside of the ritual monsters. This card would be busted in goat is what I'm saying. Get Demock back, but it's only to your hand. I can imagine that there is a point in time where this card would have been good enough to play, but I can't think of one, unfortunately. Next up, Decoy Dragon. Fire attribute, level 2, Dragon, effect. If this card is targeted for an attack, target 1 level 7 or higher dragon monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and if you do, change the attack target to it and perform damage calculation. 300 attack, 200 defense. This is a trap that you are announcing to your opponent. I guess they might burn removal on this. I mean, it'd feel pretty bad to hit this thing with like a Phoenix Wing Wind Blast or a Karma Cut or a Raigeki Break. But hitting this guy with Fissure? Yeah. It's fine for what it does. It's just something that your opponent sees coming, and that's the problem. Felground deck, not especially great so far. But look, Felground himself, a statue. We get Trade-In, discard 1 level 8 monster, draw 2 cards. Really simple, not once per turn, neutral card advantage. Cards of Consonance, discard Whitestone of Legend, get Blue Eyes White Dragon, discard Blue Eyes White Dragon with Trade-In. That's your draw engine. Trade-In is good, yeah. There's a lot of different decks that just run level 8 monsters. It's crazy if you're running the right Destiny heroes, because Plasma and Dogma happen to be level 8, and Dreadmaster might also be level 8, but he's not playable. Mostly Plasma. Just discarding cards, acceleration, really good. Combination of Destiny Draw, Trade-In, Allure of Darkness. Man, Destiny heroes are really strong in terms of card advantage. Next up, Foolish Burial. Blue Eye Staple. Yeah, I agree with that. Foolish Burial. Got the OCG artwork down here. Honestly, thought that Trade-In came out earlier. I'm glad it didn't. Although Trade-In in that, level 8 ritual deck, hypothetical ritual deck, I guess we could build it now in the middle of Tactical Evolution. I just don't know. Scary Camel. I hear Foolish Burial is an okay card. I've heard murmurings about it. I hear it's got a retrain Foolish Burial goods, and that card's weirdly good. But yeah, Foolish Burial. All the way up top. At the tippity top of the top. We even compared Snake Rain to Foolish Burial earlier. But what does it do? Normal spell, send 1 monster from your deck to your graveyard. It is the perfect graveyard setup card. Man, anything you want in your graveyard, you can get. And it sets up some nutty combos. Foolish might even be a design mistake, to be honest. Foolish Burial was released extremely early in the OCG. Oh, man. Foolish your Sinister Serpent, get free card advantage. Or I guess, honestly, you could Foolish your Volcanic Shell. Foolish your Mizuki. Foolish your Glow Up Bulb. Foolish anything you want to bring back with Spore, or to copy level with Spore. Foolish. Man, Foolish just... the potential of the card is great. Anything you want to reanimate. Any combo pieces that you might need that you could retrieve from the graveyard. This card is sort of a universal monster searcher if you can get it back from the graveyard. And sometimes you want it in the graveyard in general. Card is a little bit busted. Should probably never go more than 1 on the ban list. Could possibly be banned. It's funny how it reads like a bad card, but it got better as the game went on. Yeah. It's a joke. It's a joke card. Foolish Burial. Why are you doing that? Why are you sending your monster from your deck to your grave? Don't you know you need monsters to win the game? No. I know what I'm doing. Final card for the deck is Malevolent Catastrophe. Normal trap. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, destroy all spell and trap cards on the field. Heavy Storm is banned. Harpy's Feather Duster is banned. This is sort of like Torrential Tribute. Or I guess the analogy, Torrential Tribute is to Dark Hole as Malevolent Catastrophe is to Heavy Storm. It's okay. It definitely saw play, but that's because your spell and trap removal was limited. And that's it. Of course, Malevolent Catastrophe might actually be stronger in artifacts now than it was back then, because you do want to pop your artifacts during your opponent's turn. That's a little better. We get the second Evil God, the Wicked Avatar. Malevolent Catastrophe changed how people played the game because it caused people to start setting back row in main phase 2. That is good. I like skill testing cards like that. Gores is another one that changes the way that people attack. Actually use that main phase 2. Next up, Wicked Avatar. And if you don't know the reference, the Wicked Avatar is Ra, but it is specifically Ra in its sphere form, which is weird. Why did they choose that? I don't know. But it is Dark Attribute, level 10, Fiend effect, cannot be special summoned, must be normal summoned / set by attributing 3 monsters. If this card is normal summoned, your opponent cannot activate spell / trap cards until the end of their second turn after this effect's activation. What? This card's attack and defense are equal to the highest attack on the field plus 100, except the Wicked Avatar because that would cause an infinite loop. Question mark attack, question mark defense. This guy's got a built-in Moon Mirror shield. Honestly, that effect can be completely crippling. Just shutting your opponent out of spell and traps is crazy. In the Yu-Gi-Oh! R manga, which I haven't read yet, the Wicked Avatar would change its appearance to be the strongest card on the field. That makes sense. In the manga, the black ball transforms into the highest attack monster, Ra sphere form. I gotta read Yu-Gi-Oh! R sometime. I know, it's on the backlog. I know it's weird for a lot of different reasons from what I've heard. You can go with your Wicked Friend. That effect real strong though. Shutting your opponent out of spell and traps. Meta dependent, of course. But against certain decks, this could be, you special summon 3 monsters from hand, you tributed them all, Wicked Avatar. This could set up your board. It's a sick, awesome manga from Outlaw Otaku. Well, you are an otaku. I think I'll take your word for it. One day we'll talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! R on the channel, I think. Another manga-specific card, we get Light and Darkness Dragon. Level 8, Dragon, effect. Cannot be special summoned. While face up on the field, this card is also Dark Attribute, for some reason. Once per turn, during your opponent's turn, once per chain, during either player's turn, when a spell card, trap card, or monster effect is activated, this card loses exactly 500 attack and defense, and that activation is negated. When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, target 1 monster in your graveyard, if possible. Destroy all cards you control. Also special summon that monster, if any. 2800 attack, 2400 defense. This card does a lot. I don't quite understand, outside of flavor, why it's a Light and Darkness Dragon, why it treats itself as Dark Attribute. But the fact that it's also Light Attribute means that you can use Honest and Dark Honest on the same card? Does that make sense? Lad is the best tribute monster, could be for years. They also made a retrain of Lad that's a fusion. Ooh, that's cool. I love how Lad gives you a rebate, too. Yes, it wipes your field, but you do get something nice from your graveyard. It's only 2 tributes, too. I'm glad it can't be special summoned. This card would be so dumb if it could be. The question is, do you consider running Lad now? And I don't know. If you have your normal summon available and you put this on your board, that's pretty okay. The problem with Lad, it can negate your card effects too. One of the funny things with Lad that you could do, much like Rainbow Dragon, is you could kill it with Treeborn Frog by getting Treeborn Frog to continuously special summon itself, get negated, do it again until Lad has 0 attack, and then attack over it. That one you don't even need Foolish Burial. You don't even need Book of Moon. two dragons, Frog 2-0. Who would win, a chaotic dragon of mass destruction or one dead frog who is so good in D-Ruler format? I think there's supposed to be a stop. Who would win, a chaotic dragon of mass destruction or one dead frog? Also, Lad was good in D-Ruler format. Oh yeah, Lad was meta for a long time. Way worse nowadays because you can't special summon it, that's true. I think he earns a place in history, but not in the meta. Finally, we have our other set of video game promos. I can't remember if these are the Tag Force or the Almanac cards. But we get Blizzard Dragon, Water Attribute, level 4, Dragon, effect. Once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls. It cannot change its battle position or declare an attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. 1800 attack, 1000 defense. We're seeing more of those level 4, decently statted, with an upside. And this upside's pretty decent. It's also thematic, like you're freezing your opponent's monster. I wouldn't be surprised if this did see some meta experimentation, but I don't think it did. Sort of similar to like how Exarian Universe has tops. Pretty decent. Also, Water Dragon, you don't see a lot of those. Next up, Metal Shooter. Light Attribute, level 5, Machine. Hey! Can you use Cyber Dragons with this? Probably not. Continue. When this card is normal summoned, place 2 counters on it. This card gains 800 attack for each of these counters on it. If this card would be destroyed by a card effect, remove one of this card's counters instead. 800 attack, 800 defense. Thematically and mechanically, I really like this card. So the idea behind it is, as in the artwork, there's 3 of the robots, and if you hit one of the robots, you still have 2 of the robots, and then if you hit the other robot, you still got the 1 robot, and the 1 robot has 800 attack. The other 2 robots also give it 800 attack. Pretty cool. Problem? It needs to be normal summoned. So you need to tribute or cost down. It doesn't specifically say that it has to be tribute summoned, so I guess you can cost down or modulate this level with like level conversion lab, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, okay. Confirmation that Blizzard Dragon did see play in Disaster Dragon because it could kill Spirit Reaper. Ooh, that targeting effect is good. Thematically, Metal Shooter's great. Mechanically, I think it's very bad. This card's sort of like a BES card, too. Like, where it resists destruction. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. And it's only resisting destruction by card effect, not even by battle. Finally, last card for the video. Desmosquito. Dark attribute, level 3, insect effect. When this card is normal or special summoned, so this one actually does trigger if it's special summoned, place 2 counters on it. It gains 500 attack for each of these counters. If this card would be destroyed by battle, remove one of these counters instead. 500 attack, 500 defense. Same concept, 3 copies of itself. This one triggers for special summon, significantly better. Only has 1500 attack when it starts out, but it does resist battle destruction, which is okay for the time. What a card to close out on for Desmosquito. I like it thematically. No design mistakes unless we want to count counter. Like, technically, there's a design mistake here. But we'll keep it off for consistency. Also, what a series of cards. Not exactly the strongest, but a lot of variety. I think there's a decent number worth considering. And that's a good sign, I think. A lot of cards that were okay for the time. Yeah. Sets are getting a little better again. When is the next stream? Next stream is Friday. So not Thursday. It's going to be Friday next week. Trying to change the schedule. Ooh, Lamron. No, Friday this time. I like it on Thursday evening, but we're going to try something new. It's just they're getting longer. I got an early start today, which was good, but the set was 120 cards. Like, the main set is up to 100 cards, and then there were 20 between it and the next booster. Not only that, but the actual cards are getting longer. Effects are getting longer. Cards are getting more intricate. And man, the next 3 sets are crazy. Well, I'm going to go eat an entire copy of Silksong. Good night, kids. Good night, Lamron. Good night, everyone. Let's save it. What is this? What is it? Why do I not remember the name? Good night, Scary Camel. Next time, I believe it's Gladiator's Assault. And that's a fun set. But for now, good night, everybody.